Taking No Shorts. Coming right up.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk, we all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzy.
While we had it, let's keep it going. Oh, that applause feels so good sometimes when it's genuine and true. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special presentation of Taking No Shorts podcast. I'm your host, Jay Grizzy Green, a.k.a. Mr. Leave No Meat on the Biz Zone. And you are looking live, how Brent Musburger used to say. There is no number for this podcast because there's a guy matter of fact, he's not just a guy. There's a guy that for 14 years we've been doing podcasting or some version of content for the interwebs, and he's been along with me for that ride. Oh, hey, I'm doing too much. But tonight, just a very special episode. So when you see this, just know that it's a privilege at this point, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege. He is the founder of Legacy Internet Radio.
Exactly.
He is a yogi. He is one half of the world podcasting tag team champions. He is my brother, and if he'll allow me to just get him this intro, because everybody would know. If I am Sean, he is. Ladies and gentlemen,
Coming to the aisle. There's one half
of the podcasting tag team champions, Marcus K.
That was dope. That was real dope.
You know how to get you with that, brother.
Yeah, you got me good. That was real dope. Thank you, man. That was a wonderful introduction and heartfelt and well placed and warmly received. So thank you, man.
You're welcome.
It's true. Welcome. Yeah. Like our vibe, our energy. If you are a fan of pro wrestling in the '90s, you know who Bret the Hitman Hart and Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels are. You can see that there are some parallels.
They had to have known as soon as that music hit.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking. If you don't know who we were talking about or get the correlation as that music hit, as I'm introducing Mark, you're not. I mean, I hope you stumbled across this episode because we're definitely going to talk about why you should have known that, and if you hear, you know. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the podcast, but make sure you like, share, subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. Also, every Friday around 8:45 Eastern Standard Time, you'll catch the premiere of episodes or even a live stream. But yeah, that's where it's at. But if Mark is one half of the world podcasting tag team champions, and he's on Taking No Shorts with your boy, with your man, Jay Grizzy Green, and he's Bret Hart, then that must mean, Mark, that
I've got the look. Drive should go wild. I've got the move.
Oh my God, yo. Come on, bro.
I'm down there, spy.
he's just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy, boy.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just a sexy boy.
You took your work to pull that on. You got that on.
Brother, I put that together 5 minutes before you called me.
Oh my God. You got that.
He said,
definitely, that is worthy of applause. So worthy.
Hey, bro, you said
That is worthy of applause. You got me good. You got me.
Glad to have. I hope we've done all the pleasantries and all of that for the intros and everything, man. Thank you so much for being my brother, a partner in this podcasting thing, and appreciate you. When the bat signal come out, this brother comes through. So now,
I'm with it.
before this podcast happened, he said, bro, I'm coming, but hey, you might want to consider we talk about this.
That nigga's tripping.
He gave me a whole list, ladies and gentlemen. He texted me a whole fucking list
Oh man.
of stuff that Marcus J wanted to talk about at this special episode of Taking Those Shorts Pod.
I did. That was
And
me.
look at his t-shirt. You want to let they only see 3/4 of the t-shirt, but the t-shirt says it all. If you don't pick up any reference of what I'm getting into and picking up what I'm saying tonight,
Exactly.
you're going to understand. It's on the shirt. It's in the intros. We are pro wrestling fans.
Pro wrestling, man.
Right?
Hey man, I'm having so much fun watching right now. I've been watching since the early 1980s, literally. But for a period of time in the mid 2010s, there hasn't been that much of a period where I wasn't watching. You know, now the early time, the 80s wrestling, I mean, those are the golden days. Monday Night Wars was dope. I mean, it was must see. Raw, Nitro.
You're doing a chronological comparison?
It appears to be, yeah. And if you look at now with the global expansion and the balance of superstars, like think of it this way, right? When we were young, you had your jobbers, and some of them you didn't even know who they were. You know, they may have become someone later on, but for the most part, you know, you didn't know who they were. Whereas now, everybody's got a personality.
They don't. You've nailed it.
Everybody's got a story. Everybody might cut a promo. Even the jobbers.
Even the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah. You know,
there is no more jobbers in pro wrestling. Now, some of this talk or this conversation, this nuanced conversation around pro wrestling, because we've been wrestling fans for such a long time, and as Gen X as you did. No, that's the wrong one.
Exactly.
Like we got some time, so we know how wrestling used to look like.
Oh yeah,
and what it looks like today.
Very different.
And as you were explaining that, I was my meter of
bullshit
was like this.
bullshit.
Sorry, baby, but it was on that. And then you hit me with the point, like at the end, like ain't no jobbers.
No, everybody got a personality. Everybody got a story. Everybody got backstory. You know, the dude that you see go out there and lose every week. Or every single time
to Zawa,
you know, they boosting him up, you know, and I dig that. You know, it's always more entertaining when you understand what motivates someone to do something.
How do you think between Vince McMahon and Triple H in that transition? How do you think how did wrestling get to? Because, and I mentioned those names because really those are the last 30 years who's ran pro wrestling.
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah, 40 years. I mean, it's different. I mean, the world is different. Social media is different. Vince didn't have access to that when he was starting. You know, whereas the fact that we even know the words kayfabe and jobber tells you that we have insight and access to the business
that grew the business exposed.
That we, you know, exposing it. Now you'll get a lot of old timers that don't care much for that. You know, I think, you know, we're the kind of fans that we respect it, you know, because we understand that it's different now. There's far more high spots and a little more danger to it than, you know, before. You had folks that would always talk about, oh, it's fake and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you know, let somebody hit you in there with a chair, even a fake chair. You know, you're going to feel a little something, or somebody jumps off of something on top of you. So I've long since stopped arguing with people about whether it's fake or not. You know, I will refer them to the video between Dr. D, David Schultz, and John Stossel. You know,
I'm a man.
You know what I'm
40.
saying? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google that, and just remember, I would be the Dr. D in this analogy. So
I am busting at the seams right now. As soon as you said that, that's a Gen X reference.
Mhm.
Oh my God, 1984 or 85? It was 84 or
It
85.
was right there. You
Yeah.
know, I feel 85 is jumping out,
If
but
you
right
don't
in
know,
there.
yeah, just to give you a backdrop, for anybody who's definitely should know that I call it the Dr. D. David Schultz event of Madison Square Garden, sometime in 84, 85. This pro wrestler, Dr. D. David Schultz, Southern pro wrestler from Memphis, heavy redneck accent, had the mullet going strong. He had a jerk curl. He was the only white boy down south that had a jerk curl mullet.
I think Dusty Rhodes meets
Dusty
Rhodes meets Magnum TA. That's what Dr. D is, but it's
But he
pure
was
blonde.
a bad motherfucker, though.
Yeah,
he
he
was a bad motherfucker. He was a good wrestler.
The rest of the story about to tell you how bad he was.
So 2020, Geraldo Rivera's on 2020, Hugh Downs, Barbara Walters, and this new guy with a porn stash comes out. His name is not come out, but he's on 2020 as well. John Stossel.
Exactly.
And John Stossel. He unfortunately, like when you go like play rock, paper, scissors or pick a number, pick a card. They're like, oh, we're gonna do a story about pro wrestling because it's getting big. Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, Cyndi Lauper, and all that, right? And they said, who wants to do a story on that? Geraldo was like, Barbara Walters, like, same thing like you said. Back then, 30, 40 years ago, wrestling was shunned upon.
Yeah.
It was just you couldn't get a regular human being to admit that they were a pro wrestling fan. But so anyway, they pick cards, and this unfortunate soul gets the report, and he tries his best. He tries his level best, and even Vince, I think everybody put him on. I mean, like everybody knew, like, here's a mark. We're going to really show him. But somebody put a battery in David Schultz back. It might have been Vince. This guy goes up, asks David Schultz the question that Mark said. What was that question again?
Is wrestling fake with the word? In wrestling, the F word is fake. Is wrestling fake?
Yeah.
You want to tell him what happens next, or should I?
You should, sir.
I should? Okay. Well, John Stossel, in a condescending way, because that's kind of how non-wrestling fans talk to wrestling fans, in a condescending way. In a condescending way, it's like, is wrestling fake? Like, it's fake. And before the ache or the got out of his mouth, Dr. D. David Schultz, pow, just smacked him right across the head.
It sounded like a gunshot.
It sounded like a gunshot. And then begins to berate him on the lunacy of the question.
That's the first cup of the ears. He caught him a second time.
He, of course,
because he's like, you ain't hit me the first time.
I mean, but it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Like, these days things are different. They just signed a deal with ESPN. Like, wrestling is mainstream. But when we began to watch it, it was still a marginalized,
remind me to get back
sport. They still call it a sport. It wasn't entertainment. Sports entertainment was still a sport. You had the territories and all of those kinds of things. So it was definitely a different time. And I don't imagine it would be wise that, the answer to that question in present day would be fisticuffs. The lawsuit would be massive. But
ain't nobody doing all that. But you asked a pro wrestler.
His point was made, though.
Yeah.
I bet you they wasn't asking that question of pro wrestlers for a while after that.
And for the record, it was white on white. Or white on, I think Stoss was white. I think he does some
none
stuff.
of that would even play into it. It's just two dudes. One dude asked a dumbass question of the wrong person.
And yeah. So don't do it, non-wrestling fans. Wrestling fans are very welcoming, passionate. If you want to know something,
we love to talk about wrestling.
Yeah, all day.
Wrestling fans love to talk about wrestling
all day. Yeah. You have to pull us. Like, can we talk about something else? No, it's wrestling.
Yeah.
Early '80s, you came up into the wrestling game, so I think the audience over the years we've known each other in podcasting. How do you? Did you used to go to those parties? We used to have pay-per-view parties.
I did. We were having them, and I remember in May of 1999 when we lost Owen Hart, we were together.
Wow. Yeah, that was crazy.
We were together.
That was a crazy.
That
That's
night.
a crazy pay-per-view.
First of all, that's how long we've been brothers.
Like I'll give you exactly.
You know, that's how long. You know, we were at Big Rube's house.
Yeah, Rube's
Big Rube's house. So that's 1999.
That's 25, 26.
That's 26 years ago. So yeah, the parties I have had them just for you guys to know what we're talking about. You know, they call them premium live events now, but back in the day we call them pay-per-views. They weren't easily accessible, and it made sense for one person to spend $35 or $40, whatever it was, which, $40 now is not like $40 was then. $40 then, that's a lot of money to watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And so the homies would get the homies to come through. And, and it would turn into a party. You might have anywhere from 10, 15 people at the crib. They ain't tear your house up. All they want to do is watch wrestling.
That's all wrestling fans.
You know what I'm saying? But there was black folks that would be there, be white folks that would be there.
Yep.
It would be men that would be there, be women,
chicks,
ladies. Yeah, and everybody has fun. So that's what it was. So
speaking of ladies,
what's up?
Now this I pay attention to longer than we was talking earlier. I don't know if I said talk about it on air. Like Mark has been following the latest product. Like what's the term you use? Like not 100%, but you're
I'm all in.
All in.
Yeah,
you use the AW.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I showed you a John Cena clips, but you didn't recognize what was going on. So he had been wrestling heel for the last few months.
Right.
He had changed his gimmick and how he was going to the ring and all his things. He's berating the fans. And, for the previous weeks, Cody Rhodes had been trying to talk some sense into him.
Right.
And it culminated Friday night on SmackDown where Cody finally got through to John Cena. John Cena had an instant face turn right there in the ring between them. I saw that. When they wrestled 2 days later in the main event of SummerSlam, I mean, they had a brawl. I mean, they beat the shit out of each other. It was a great match, but they both wrestled as babyface.
They started the match with wrestling. I saw Cena.
Yeah, it was a great match.
I said Cena put Cody in a soul brother Cody, by the way. I saw him put he did a chain move. Like that's a headlock, reverse hammer lock, jump over arm. There's some Ricky Steamboat shit.
Cody, Cody is one of the most skilled wrestlers in the business because his gimmick has always been corny, including this one.
Right.
Like, the whole,
I take a difference to it. Hold on.
The Ric Flair thing
you don't like Cody?
I love Cody.
Okay.
I love Cody.
I thought you were about to.
No. I love Cody. But he's a cornball. He is. He is obsessed with the business, and this is what you want. It's what you want.
I'm listening, but you can always
it's hard for me sometimes to not see Stardust. You know what I'm saying? And the suits that he wears when he comes to the ring, like they look real Ric Flairish to me.
His entrance suit
the worst thing in the world is that he comes and he looks in the camera and he goes, "So, what do you want to talk about?" He's a cornball to me, but he is obsessed with wrestling.
Yeah,
he is the epitome of a wrestler's kid. He played, he's a wrestler in high school. You heard the stories of, Diamond Dallas Page being, great friends with Dusty and showing up to see Cody wrestle in high school.
Yeah.
So this is all he knows. He is living his best life with his fine ass wife. Oh,
that's what
Brandy. And they have been together since high school.
Yeah,
it's love. So congrats to Brandy and Cody.
And Cody
with them.
Well,
they got the cutest little baby too.
I ain't seen that baby yet. I know she got pregnant, or he got her pregnant. Dude, and I think that's what gives Cody and some of the algorithm gives him a lot of pass with the brothers because he married her.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I brought that up kind of in jest. I mean, he is unapologetic about who he is. Like he is Dusty Rhodes' kid, but he is independently and clearly just like himself. Like with his brother. I think he might have gone through some challenges because he carried the name Dustin Rhodes, and he had the similar gimmick, the cowboy gimmick, similar to, Dusty's gimmick.
Yeah.
So when he went
over,
completely, he was getting over on his daddy. But when he went completely left with Goldust,
Who did I send
That's when he got my attention. I was like, yo, that's Dustin.
I was thinking about getting that. I sent it in the group chat. Shout out to Dame. We'll give Dame a shout out.
My brother. I loved Gold Dust. I got it from the beginning. Like people thought it was weird. And yes, it was weird. Of course it was weird. It was supposed to be weird. I mean, like he had people weirded out. Like remember Mark Merrow would be like so weirded out. Like people would be weirded out with you, Johnny B. Bad.
This is definitely a Black Gen X pro wrestling conversation with my homeboy Marcus J.
I just went off on
it's good. This is where we wanted to go, and trust me, as a great host, and I learned good hosting from you, sir. So let's give you a round of applause from that. Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen.
We talked about it. We talked about it.
Yeah. You know? So it ain't that. I'd rather be on this keyboard because really, this keyboard comes from. I'm not. It ain't my keyboard.
So. To finish the point on getting you to the present, caught up on what I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
You remember what was going on with Truth. Truth had a similar heel turn himself.
Yeah, catch me up.
All right. So when he had gotten fired, because he legit had gotten fired, all right, Truth. And the fans backlash so bad that they rehired him. They put him back in matches. He had a mini feud with John Cena. Like he was trying to tell John Cena, he was the first one to tell John Cena, like, yo, you bugging. Why you being so mean? You tripping. Like that's what Cody finally was able to get the message to. But R-Truth was the first one that was trying to tell him, like, what you doing? So
don't be whack.
Don't be whack. Don't be whack. So at the end of SummerSlam, I'm gonna tie this together.
Oh, you're good.
All right. The end of SummerSlam. Cody goes over John Cena. He wins the belt from him. But they do the babyface thing. You know, Andre did it for Hogan. Hogan did it for Rock. Rock did it for Cena. Cena's doing it for Cody. Yeah. So Cena's holding it. You know, we're doing all of that. And you the new champion, but you dipping away so that the fans could love the OG.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then who comes out but Brock Lesnar? Brock.
Here's where I take my editing license.
so Brock.
Why this motherfucker come? How did he get back?
2 years. They said it's been 2 years since we seen him.
So you forget the text messages?
I mean, it's not for me to say any of that.
No, Marcus.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I didn't pay attention to that story. I don't know the story well enough to have an opinion one way or the other. All I knew was that there was some stuff that Vince had been accused of doing, which is why Vince ain't around no more. And there were other names that was potentially attached to it. A bunch of names, one of them having been Brock Lesnar. What those other names were purported to have done, I never
heard that part.
Because I didn't care about the story to begin with, not in a disrespectful manner, but
if it come across, if some salacious, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. You're saying, hey, I heard the story, but and this is me knowing you for 25 plus years. I think Marcus just give me the facts. Everything else to me is
bullshit.
Just give me the facts, because I can determine it. His mom and dad raised him with some good common sense. But see, my ass.
I make him shiver. Ladies get weak.
That's asshole. Such an asshole, man.
Come on, Sheriff! Come on, Sheriff! Hit it with me, Mark. Come on, girl.
Come on, man.
No, so you don't need the juicy details. So I just happen to get the juicy details. Like I listened to, and I hope.
Like pause you for a second. Yeah, same thing with Hogan, right? Mm-hmm. When everybody initially got mad with him, and I heard that he called his daughter's boyfriend the N-word and all that kind of stuff.
I was so looking for that.
Listen, because making a point. Even when all of that was coming, I never ran down the rabbit hole of what it was all about because I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some stories that you just like. Can you really attach yourself emotionally to every freaking story that comes up? I'm so not doing that.
No, you're so right.
So in my mind, I was like, man, Hogan said some fucked up shit. I knew he said the N-word. Damn, that's fucked up. You know, I don't know the full context. Oh, he said it's fucked up. He called his daughter's boyfriend the N-word. Word. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that for me.
You. Yeah.
I didn't go, oh, every single memory I ever had of Hulk Hogan is going down the drain, and I'm never going to be a fan of him no more, and all that kind of stuff. I could have done that. Plenty of people did. But I tell you, there is one that I had a hard time with.
Hold on. Before we get to that one, hold that one close to your vest.
Okay.
I think because, we are here now talking pro wrestling here, Taking No Shorts podcast. I'm your host, Jay Gray. That's Legacy Internet Radio, homeboy Marcus J. Look, you don't want to know all that other stuff, because if it happened to come across your radar, you was going to go from 0 to 100. So you just was getting ready to say there was an exception, and that exception was there was this pro wrestling story that did get you to 100 quick, per se.
Richmond Coliseum. I'm there. And it's during the height of the DX days. And I'm close enough on the aisle where I see Sean and Kevin and China walking through the crowd. And they're engaging, the fans. And they're wrestling heel right now, and assholes is DX. And I saw and heard with my own eyes Shawn Michaels walk up to a black man, point in his face, and say, "You N-word." Mm-hmm. Saw it, heard it, was in earshot for me. And I couldn't hear what precipitated that, but I saw and heard that. And it was very hard for me to be able to let it go with Sean. Yeah. But I have, because he's a humble dude. I don't know if you've seen him in interviews, or if you listen to other wrestlers who you respect, like Undertaker or Stone Cold, who they play their characters on screen, but behind the scenes or as they're real people, you could tell they're upstanding men.
Yeah.
And they, to a person, admitted they all wanted to wring Sean's neck. Yeah. But he's a different person now. He's a different person now. You got to give people an opportunity to mature. And if you want to cancel people forever for things that they've said, then every single one of us would be canceled if there was a microphone around us at all times.
God knows, Lord Jesus.
So, cast that first stone. Go ahead. I just choose not to.
It feels so much better for me. I see what you're saying, everybody. If you don't know, I'm gonna save this clip, because what Marcus just put down is just not just talking about pro wrestling in the stories, because they kind of make you. It made me, what you just said made me reflect using pro wrestling. Like, how do I do the forgiveness thing, or how do I look at, because we talked about Hogan on episode 100. We make jokes about Booker T saying, "We coming for you."
Yeah, and Hogan thought it was funny. You know what I mean? Like, if you listen to what Booker T said in his regards after Hogan's passing, he thought immediately that he was going to be in trouble. And when he did, have a conversation with Terry afterwards, he said they laughed about it. Because you could tell it was funny. It was definitely a shoot. It didn't mean to happen. But I tell you this though. This last piece I'll say about this. When I understood pro wrestling, like when I started understanding kayfabe and how you can see the illusion of a person in front of you, but it's a completely different person when those cameras aren't there, I started to begin to understand life in a different kind of way. Like politics, and how people can do things that seem to be outside their own interests, but they can be so passionate and appear to be honest about it.
Pro wrestling got you there?
Yeah, because I understood. Like I can see, not so much like your cartoonish characters, like your Undertakers and people like that. No, but your Stone Cold, somebody like that. That's a turned up version of the real person. and you understand playing, and you understand playing your part, in the story. That's how life is. You got to control what you can control, because the rest of it,
you can't
control everything.
You can't control everything.
No.
So as you're, because I don't even know. And I was telling Carlton Banks the other day. Shout out to Carlton. I was about to give you the wrong drop, but just shout out to Carlton.
Shout out to Carlton.
Yeah. So I was in the debate. I was in a debate club. That's how. I mean, it's not square to be smart as a black man or Gen X. It's just not. It's just not. I never bought into that. But I was on a debate team in high school.
I got picked on for it.
Yeah, right. So that's probably why we're podcasting tag team champions of the world.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you know. And on a debate, when you're debating, you got to expect to know what the other party is fitting to hit you with. And you got to be willing to either see red meat and go for the kill and to win, or you could fight, but you can't deny the fact that you fitting to lose. And so when you that threw me back to area back in my younger days where I'm sitting here saying I'm with Booker T back in 1993, 4. I don't even know when Harlem Heat was in WCW, but WCW.
That sounds about right. 94, 95.
Yeah. And
they certainly were around before NWO.
And they had Sherry there too. I'm about to hit another one. Yep. Oh.
Sherry found herself in some strange places.
Yeah, she did.
She was with Ted DiBiase too.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm making sure I'm covering up everything here because we're not live, and this is a special presentation of Taking No Shorts podcast. I'm your host, Jay Grizzly Green. That is Marcus J. And we're sitting here talking pro wrestling amongst homeboys that have grew up loving pro wrestling and coming up in the game. Back to what I was getting at, when you were giving out the argument, explaining the argument in regards to why did Hulk Hogan occupy space in my brain when the news dropped that he dropped the N-bomb, and then when the news dropped that he transitioned. And I was just like, why? And then as you're talking about it, I'm like, yo, why did it? Because I did an episode, I think it's 102. Just go back a week on the archive. Well, it's not the archive, Facebook, YouTube, are the both places where you can see it. But I was just talking about, like, when did I check out of mainstream media? Soon as halfway through election day of 2024, I left like for Christians, I gave up the ghost. I was tired. I was like, yo, y'all cannot tell me Beyonce is out here doing concerts, Cardi B, like, y'all can't tell. But then when I think I went to work. I went in the office that day. You know, you went to the office. Excuse me. We'll get back to the podcast. You went in the office the day before Election Day 2008.
Yeah, I remember that. I was working in the office. No, not yet. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, which point?
Barack, the eve of Barack, and then you saw all of that all the way up into Joseph Lowry from the SCLC giving that beautiful convocation. And I was watching in January of 2008, and I was just like, so the emotion that
I went to the inauguration. Like, I got so caught up in it. I went to the inauguration.
Cold as shit that day.
The first black president in the United States of America.
Jealous.
And it was the most physically uncomfortable I had ever been. You know, it was cold.
It was cold.
It was very cold. It was below freezing. We had to get out there somewhere around 5 a.m. The sun hadn't risen. We were already out there.
Buses.
In the dark.
Huh.
We were out there. They didn't begin the program until after 10, and it was close to noon before we saw the actual, because it has to be before noon.
Yeah.
So it was, late 10s, early 11s. Yeah, right. If not, so then, he says his speeches and stuff. So now it's 1 o'clock or whatever it is. Now you got to get out of there. And so all of the people that were there and then the slow moving and stuff, we didn't get back to where we started until after 5 p.m. It was a 12-hour day.
Would you have traded it in?
No, but I would never do it again. Yeah. The only exception if it was a black woman, depending on who she was and how I felt about her.
Wow.
You know, if there was a black woman who is elected president in my lifetime that can elicit the level of emotion and hope that I felt then, you know, people could say what they want about Barack Obama. I'm far long since stopped debating people, especially Barack Obama ain't do nothing for black people. I'm just not arguing with you, you know, because you will not qualify my blackness by your standards. We're not doing that. And so because you want to lay out what your argument is, which is fair, you know, you're not going to set the parameters for that argument with me because I vehemently disagree and I'm not interested in debating you. You know what I'm saying? So because they want to argue with you about that. I'm just not doing that.
So with that being said, like when you talk about forgiveness with Hogan and the emotion that I had when I hear that tape, and now not just with the emotion I had, but I had a prior bias because I grew up on Ric Flair, Jim Crockett. What those guys were doing up north was how Corny say, or Jim Cornette say, was backdoor country. He just didn't talk very well about WWE. And the only time, once Hogan came along, when I say we, Pro Wrestling Fans South of Baltimore was just like, okay, we get it. It's to grow the business, right? And he did. So as you're explaining this, you're like, yo, he grew the business. Everybody makes mistakes. Think about, and I look dead into the camera. Think about your life, whether you've been here for 8-10 years, or you're 10-year-old, or you've been here as long as me and Marco before. Think about all of that time that the good Lord gave you, and you didn't F up, and somebody call you out. At the time, you might not have made that same decision. You know, if you got some more years on you, like you wouldn't want somebody to be holding you to that, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, you know where I'm getting ready to go, but I'll share this for context for your viewers and listeners. I don't like the N-word, no matter who's saying it. And I'm just not going to be the person that's giving grace to folks who say the N-word all the time in common conversation. What's up, my N-word? Can't even have a conversation without it popping up. Black people, our people, those people are the ones that want to have a cancellation for life, the death penalty of cancellation. Like, I don't fuck with Hulk Hogan ever again because he called his daughter's boyfriend the N-word. Well, shit, you called your daughter's boyfriend the N-word. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on. Like, I mean, we cancel. Fine, if that's what you're gonna do, but you're not qualifying my blackness because I don't agree with you because I choose not to. Because that's how you talk.
I cannot disagree. I mean, it makes so much sense, and that's how I get to, like, for me, I think, all right, so it gets clicks. It's going to get eyes because
you know what it is. It's black folks want to sound woke. Like the original meaning of woke. Not this bullshit that white folks to hijack. Like they often hijack everything and then do the shit wrong. Yeah. Like you can't even give the definition to how the word actually was. It's not even what you're saying. But anyway, that's a little bit of a rant there. But
time, bro.
You know, it's basically how we would say it. Is how you got black folks trying to out-black other black folks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know some stuff, and because you know some stuff, respectfully, we all know some stuff, but because you know some stuff and you process it that way, because I don't agree with you, then I'm not, I'm not black enough.
Here's what I would say to that.
You are awakened. I'm still asleep.
Yeah. Here's what I say to that. As long as...
A bullshit. That's what I say to that.
Okay, hold on.
A bullshit.
Yeah, my bad. Give me the cue, bro. Give me the cue. Yeah. So what I would say to that, not to be a devil's advocate.
I don't be a devil's advocate.
At some point, like I see Amanda Seals does this, right? And I don't know if you follow her.
I don't.
Yeah.
I know who she is, though.
Yeah. And
No shade. I just don't care. See how that go?
You definitely have grown. You definitely have grown. But she gets canceled left and right because there are some things that she puts on her channel, even though some conglomerate of billionaires run it, and they could decide if they want to shut you down as far as whatever content you freely get to put up. They could decide it. The business model is around what I'm creating. I bet you if I say the wrong thing, Marcus can say anything he wants to fucking say on Taking Those Shorts. But if I say the wrong thing, when I get that report next week, it's gonna say, hold on. That's what it's gonna say. So I know the game. Anyway, so I'm aware of the whole. I was aware, and my emotions got the best of me, and it threw me back. If you go back to 102 or 101 episode, where I was talking about how I checked out of mainstream media after the 2004 election because I was consuming that shit like I was consuming it like the 2020 Will Smith AI eating spaghetti. You remember that meme?
I do.
He was going hard. That's what that's how hard I was. Like, if she don't win, how they say in pro wrestling, if Punk or Cena don't win, we riot.
Yeah,
and that's where the mic goes.
I don't. It's America is not ready for the kind of progression that she says she wants, and she is still more interested and more comfortable with conservative patriarchal evangelical values.
Yeah,
and if you are a part of one of those communities, then I would understand that you feel that is the way that things should be. Where the flaw is there's no openness to potentially compromising with other types of thought processes.
That's where the money comes in.
This is where you had prior presidents and leaders. They're more apt to do that. Whereas the current climate that we're in now, because we don't view America through the same lens. I love her and you hate her, and everything that you say and everything you do is stupid and terrible, and it's just an awful space to be. And I don't think it would be that way had the election went the other way.
It would not have been. But what I always say on my content is that we have not been here as a country before. Prior to the election in 2024, I was putting out because my folks grew up where Grant crossed the James. My ancestors lived on land where he circled Grant, which means there was a insurrection in the whole. So that's what put everything in context for me, and I'm just like, okay, all right. So what's the insurrection in pro wrestling when I hear Hulk Hogan say that word? And as a Crockett, Mid-Atlantic, Southern black pro wrestling, going to the Coliseum every Friday, seeing somebody blade their head to death, and to look at the product now where it's so crisp and clear, how Cornette say it's flippity flip. Like, you have to be flexible to see, and that's. And I watch WWE. I watch WWF when it we had WDCA, which is like it was a cable earliest cable channel in the 80s, and it was out of DC. So it was if Atlanta had Channel 17, or if New York had WWOR or WPIX, WDCA and
is independent.
Is an independent channel, was putting out. I learned Voltron.
Independence always had the best content.
Yeah.
When we was coming up, you named it. You clearly know your New York roots.
Yeah.
WPIX, WWOR.
Yeah.
Always with the independents had the best content. That's where we was watching Good Times and Jeffersons and Archie and all of that. it came on those channels.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So early '80s, when I saw some WWF product, I saw Bob Backlund, I saw Superstar Billy Graham, who I was a huge mark for.
So was Hogan.
Yeah. So he there's a guy. As a matter of fact, I want to say there's a guy that got a channel. I forgot his name. If I do, I'll give it to you because I think you're doing great content. But there's this brother, big time wrestling fan on social media, and he talks about how Dusty ripped off for us black folk his gimmick.
I mean, I don't see how there's any question that he was the Elvis of of wrestling, like his mannerisms. Now, I will say this about it.
You got a good Dusty impression?
I don't,
if you will.
I don't. But I think Dusty was being himself. But I also think that there's clear black influence.
Yeah, I'll share that.
I think he was organic, but I think he was influenced.
So this brother, he go hard. I mean, he goes into the Sons and all that. Anyway, I'm convinced. I'm now not just for podcasts because when me and Mark did it, Mark is a great debater of facts. I'm a great debater of.
I thought you was gonna put a bullshit. Debater of bullshit.
Get your heart out, girl. Get your heart out, girl.
Yeah, I should have get away from that.
Probably be good.
Yeah, it'd be good. Especially since that Richmond story you shared earlier. I mean, I knew that. I knew about that, but
yeah, I shared that.
Yeah,
I've been telling that story for 30 years.
And I mean, it's a reason why a bunch of Marines whooped his ass. I think he hit on the Marine chick, or the chick was messing with him. Anyway, I'm converted now. Look, let sleeping dogs lie. What is what does it cost you to hold Jay? I'm speaking to myself in the third on the podcast, but that means that it's good. What does it hold you to feel some kind of way that you want to dance on the grave of a pro wrestler who said the N-word? I've said it many times here, through the world, through the internet.
Oh, but it's different when it's white person.
No, it's not different.
It's different.
It's not different. It's the emotion of it. It's the emotion of the word.
We have sanitized the word to the point where everybody feels comfortable. You got to also understand that while there is the expectation of knowing better, if you do your research and actually talk to people, you will recognize that there are those who don't even realize why they're saying it. They don't know the history of it. They don't know the power of how it affects other people.
It makes what my brothers.
That's why they don't care that you feeling the way about when they say, or you in this analogy, you being me. Right. That's why I'm not going to tie a different level of emotion, to some tired white dude.
It makes sense.
And here's the other thing, right? Black folks not giving up trade secrets. Be mad at me if you want to. But we know how we talk about these people when they not around. Probably the same way they talk about us when we not around. Mm-hmm. So if one of our conversations happens to be recorded and our favorite white friend happens to hear you using the term honky or cracker, now all of a sudden you're the same kind of racist Hulk Hogan is.
No, you know what I'm saying? But they can't say nothing to me.
Yeah, but black folks, hey, look, I am a black folks. I get it. We got this double standard with how we apply our version of bigotry and racism. Yeah, all right, cool. I can dig it. But all I'm doing is showing you the hypocrisy.
It is very hypocritical.
Of course it is. And I'm just not doing that no more. You're not qualifying my blackness through hypocrisy. What the fuck?
But you can't say it to me. You.
But I cringe when you say it.
I value what you.
But for consistency purposes, tell your people, I cringe when you say it.
That is true. But do you see the slippery slope that goes down when I say I respect it because you said it?
I did. I respect that. I see that.
If I saw on YouTube, we're going to get back to pro wrestling and right now, or just a segue. I saw on YouTube this South African Frank Botha versus Mike Tyson, right? 19. That's another Black Gen X reference. 1996, I think. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think Tyson had came out of his Desiree Washington situation. He was on a rampage, and this white South African was dirtier than Mike in this fight.
Okay.
Head button, yeah. Like Mike, like yo, and the ref wasn't doing shit about it. It was probably the fight was probably taking place in Johannesburg. He just getting a check. Mike was like, I can't take this no more. And Mike started doing the same thing that guy was doing. But when Mike do it, it's different. Now the ref is, I'm peeping it like the ref is like, no, you can't hold him and hit him. You can't put your head on his forehead and this, that. And I'm like, so that's giving you the analogy. That's where I think some people, I catch myself when I can because I'm conscious and I know. And I try to respect the folks that say that, hey, that bothers. But I know a lot of cats that once we sit down and get down, but you can't come in here and do it. I respect it as because let me give you your flowers. Hold on, let me give it to you. He is the best.
Best it is, best it was, the best it ever will be.
Just plain and simple. He had a Cody jacket on though.
Yeah, right.
Get a breath, but you do when that music hit and he hit that ring, he'll go kick some ass.
Well, you already know.
He's the excellence of execution. Speaking of being the excellence of execution, let me see who's the best scientific wrestler on here. There is none because we're talking about WWE. I'm not going
scientific wrestlers today. I don't know.
There ain't one. I want to talk about the ladies. That's where I got off on the tangent on because when I watch pro wrestling, and again in 2025, it's a different pro wrestling than Wendy Richter.
Oh, good grief!
You know, and Cyndi Lauper and Captain Lou getting the picture frame bust over his head. That's a
one leg goes up before he completely goes out.
That's a great bump, though. By the way. Yeah, oh man.
Anytime you get a manager that takes a bump, you like, all right,
manager
one
the
of
ref.
the boys.
Yeah, manager the ref. Yeah, manager the ref. Yep. Savage used to take out refs like it was. I used to watch his matches.
I think it was a shoot.
Yeah, I watched Randy Savage matches just to see him fucking the ref. Anyway, the ladies wrestling has gotten so much better lately. Mark, and I know you put this in the text earlier tonight. You wanted to talk about it. I like this is something that when I saw it, I was like, I saw that. Of course, being a Shawn Michaels, yeah, I was looking at it. Strange enough, he runs that division, right?
He runs NXT,
and a lot of ladies are coming up.
Well, not all, but most of the homegrown wrestlers that you're seeing now, your Braun Breakers. Your Tiffany Strattons, even your Jade Cargills, they are coming through NXT, and that's how they make it, to the big set. It's kind of like a minor leagues, for those folks who aren't familiar.
Yeah. I remember when they had the 4 Horsewomen, that was a whack ass tag line for them, but Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bayley.
I'm gonna tell you what turned me on to the women. Because we grew up, like you said, with Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young, and it just wasn't appealing. And then you ended up with the generation where you traded so much on how they looked, and it was all about puppies and all that kind of shit. No, these women are athletes, they're, performers, and they're certainly worthy of more respect than just looking at their tits.
Yeah, for sure.
So when this current generation and crop, when I mentioned earlier how a lot of the wrestlers have personality, not just jobbers, well, that helped the women's division as well, because, you can get the attention of the fans perhaps with your personality, but what you do between the bell and between the ropes is really how you're going to get your money. And they got a wonderful training facility where they're learning, You know, I watched the spot with Nikki Bella, who's a Hall of Famer, a week ago, and I'm sitting there watching, like, respect. She came up during a period where I wasn't watching. But she's not that great in the ring, and she's gonna hurt somebody.
When did you stop watching wrestling, Mark?
After that went down with Owen. You know, there was a few years where it was just hard.
That's 96, 97?
It happened in 96, so and then the Monday Night Wars fizzled out by the early 2000s. So I would say my dark period was from around 2000 to about 2010.
Yeah, me too.
And went out because I still watch like WrestleMania. I never miss WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know, even when I wasn't watching the product regularly, I never miss WrestleMania.
But the genuine interest waned
during that decade.
Mine's
and
too.
it wasn't until the advent of the WWE Network, which I think was around 2000.
It was 15.
It was 15.
Mm.
So that's when I've officially started coming back because they made it easy to watch pay-per-views. You can watch the old product, the stuff that caused you to fall in love with it anyway. And then ever since then, like last week, there was a 4-day stretch where you had WWE every day. You had SmackDown on Friday. You had the 2-day SummerSlam, Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
And then you had Raw on Monday. You know, years past, you know.
You had to wait a week.
But I was all in. I watched all of it, like live, real time.
Well, as you run that down, that's a lot of content.
It's a lot of content.
Somebody, and I want to give them credit, and I have to get out my feelings to give credit, because I suspect Stephanie McMahon, because she's still married to Triple H. What is his name? Levesque? Paul Levesque, right? So I give credit for the transition off of the Vince McMahon stuff, and I'm going to get to Brock in a second. But somebody had to be in the room to say, hey, we need to change this pro wrestling company to that. You know, we got to come off of the moments where we were at our heyday from 2000, you know, from that era to time to where if we are dieharders or pro wrestling marks are checking out between 2000 and 2010, somebody had to say, hey, we got to get this thing back on the track. And I'm going to go ahead and give credit. I think that would have been Vince probably.
Yeah. But I don't know that you could have done it with
Stephanie.
Vince, because if you look at the top guys and gals, there is a deeper pool of talent than it's been in recent years. Very reminiscent of the Attitude Era. You had Stone Cold, you had Brock, you had Triple H, you had a lot of guys
who do you think
that can carry that belt.
Right, but who do you think, want you to answer for me, or for the audience, is who do you think flipped that switch and said, because we know how WWE works, who do you think was in the back saying, hey, we can't be pushing Jose Lothario anymore? You know, we got to push this new guy.
I think it was Paul. Yeah. It had to be, because he was a performer, and he made his slow transition to the executive branch,
the office,
and in the conversations that you would hear him have, and people who speak of him, he was the cool dude who didn't do none of the vices. He was always there, but he wasn't drinking and he wasn't smoking. He made sure that his friends got home. You know what I'm saying? But he was in the midst of it. If it was time to fight, then he gonna fight.
He gonna wear this.
You know what I'm saying? But he didn't. You know, he was always the one that was fully prepared. He had his notebooks and stuff. The point that I'm making is, if you listen to the boys talk about him while he was on the road full time, you can see that he was the dude that was gonna be in control one day.
Do you? It's a little bit salacious, but you think the Stephanie situation was happenstance or calculated?
I don't think it matters, but I think it was happenstance. And here's why I answered it that way. Look at where we are. Have we ever, and they've been together for almost 20 years, have we ever heard of there being dissension? Never. If it was something that was contrived, at least we would have heard a crack in the aura of their couple.
Or it might have been a crack and we just don't know about it.
Perhaps, perhaps, but I don't know that it matters, because every instance that I've ever seen Paul with the family, he is, like my brother-in-law. Like, I can't even imagine, our family without him there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he married my sister, but, my sister, I couldn't imagine our lives without them there.
Yeah.
So it's probably like that with them. And, Vince trusted him to run the business before he wasn't in control no more.
Yeah.
He trusted, Paul. So, you got some fans that have some trouble with some of the storylines, but I mean, people had trouble with the storylines with Vince. I tell you this, Vince didn't have them all over the world chanting. When they was in Paris
was a good show.
When they was in Paris
was almost like an independent show,
when
like an
they
ECW
was
show.
in Paris, the way those fans cheered for Randy Orton,
and they coming back.
He had to step out of his character for a minute to just say thank you.
Yeah.
Them jokers was singing his song. I never ever saw an arena that loud come through on TV.
I think the
like
Roman Reigns started it in Europe or Paris. Roman Reigns. Let's
talk about Roman Reigns for a second.
Of course.
Can I take some credit for Roman Reigns?
Yes, sir.
Because I remember when the Shield came along.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I got some early help, but yes, you can talk about your fandom and how you can describe it, but yeah, he didn't come out like he wanted to. Well, he was a Rock.
But hear me out. I might address that. When the Shield came out, everybody thought it was going to be the classic looking white boy, Dean Ambrose. You know what I'm saying? Seth is the best wrestler of the three of them. But Roman Reigns had the look, he had the legacy, he had the power, right? And Vince tried to slam him down our throat and wrestle him as a baby face. And the fans was just like, eh. And what did I say then? You gotta turn him heel. Once you turn him heel, you make him a monster heel. You make him the kind of heel that you hate. You want those fans to boo this man out the building. Take as long as it takes. And when he get white hot, like so white hot that you can't even touch him, turn a baby face, he will be the biggest baby face you've ever had. I said that years ago. And what's happening?
It's probably out in the interwebs on Legacy and not ready.
I said that years ago. Yeah. What's happening right now?
Exactly what he said. Because I could not. I'm like, Vince, please,
you know why? Because you had the
guy.
blueprint. You already had the blueprint.
Yeah.
You know who the blueprint was?
Cena.
Before that.
Hogan.
After that. Rocky Maivia.
Oh, The Rock, yeah.
Rocky Maivia. How they try to shove Rocky Maivia down our throat?
With the tassels and shit.
And what happened? Good old Ron Simmons came in, rescued wrestling.
Yeah.
By being the foil for the quips of The Rock. Like there's one where Farouk is going on. He's going on this long ass rant. And The Rock is in front of the camera going,
like, fuck is this guy? Like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, he didn't say nothing, but he got over.
The whole thing.
He got over without saying a word.
The whole promo. Dwayne is over there like, fuck out of here, old fucking Farouk.
It was the funniest shit ever.
Yeah, that was genuine. Yeah. And that definitely got him over. Man, there's so many. WWE is on a roll, Mark.
It is. I mean, and then you got to figure it has partnered itself with the largest streamers of the last, in the next few years. Like with Netflix and their deal is 5 years, so they on, streamers. So I've already, as a wrestling fan, I have already
another brew.
As a wrestling fan, I have already altered how I watch wrestling. Raw used to be on USA TV, right? So USA is cable. You got to be home to sit and watch cable. So I got to be tied to my TV or at home at 8 o'clock if I want to watch Raw. Whereas with it being on Netflix, that's streaming. I can pull that up on my cell phone and watch it wherever, whenever. It's on demand. Whereas I got to have a DVR, a whole separate unit for USA, but it's on demand on the same app that I could have watched it. So this is the direction. And then this new thing with ESPN, I mean, the E is entertainment. The E and ESPN is entertainment, and the E and WWE is entertainment. So could you imagine wrestling's about to be back on ESPN? Ain't been on since the early 90s with AWA. And that was at 11 o'clock at night.
Hands off the merchandise.
I just cut one of the best promos that you put on Shawn Michaels.
I cut you off. You threw the promo. I'm trying to get a toast in, bro. Because we are here taking those shorts podcast, talking wrestling with my homeboy Marcus J.
My man.
Founder of Like to Say Internet Radio. I just had to I couldn't take another sip of the brew, you know, because y'all will not see, everything is below the camera. But tonight, for the podcast, this special, I'm going to drink some beer as I talk pro wrestling. I mean, I'm just in my element right now.
Hey, man, how you going to talk some wrestling and not drink some beer?
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Hell yeah.
You see the mentally challenged kid, he came out to Stone Cold music. He had 2 big glass bottles of liquid, and his family was, because he's a wrestling fan.
Okay.
It's obviously he's a wrestling fan.
Okay.
His family is bigging him up, and they playing Stone Cold. Dun, 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 dun. He walks into the camera for social media, for whoever, for the family video, family from video. He comes out, and because he's in the moment of Stone Cold and that entrance and doing everything that Stone Cold had, when the music hits and something hit with him, he took both glass.
Glass, bro.
Stone Cold glass, brother.
So he had glass with the broken glass with the broken glass.
And when Stone Cold do that, and he came out, I think it was probably, he was an adult, so it probably was congratulations on your whatever adult birthday. And he came out, and you can hear the family, don't do it. He went for it, bro.
And he broke the glass.
Crushed it.
Oh,
and
my
he
God.
had the happiest face.
Yeah. I hope they got that to Stone Cold. There was a video of a little boy. He's probably 7, 8, 9, whatever he was. And he was in Hulk Hogan's store there in Florida. And Hogan was there. And little kid was dressed like Hogan. And he cut a Hogan promo, ripped his little 8-year-old shirt off. I said,
Hogan went back at him.
yeah. I said, all right. So, I mean, that right there is why we love wrestling.
Because if I was a kid,
you feel that emotion.
And I cut a promo. If I saw Ric Flair at the Richmond Coliseum coming up 7th Street from going to the Marriott, and my dad and me is pulling off, and just like as a Steelers fan, it's like Mean Joe Green in a Coca-Cola commercial. And I say, stop, Dad, stop!
We all remember that commercial.
Flair's coming out.
That nigga's tripping.
And I get out on Flair, and Flair said, who is? And he starts cutting the promo, and I cut a promo. That as a kid, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
that scene, I would definitely.
I mean, you know, when you as a young person, you love something like your thing, your movie, your actor, your fit character, whatever. You're a wrestler. Mm-hmm. Like, you never lose that love. You stay with it. It stays with you, you know, as you get older. And I remember certain incidences, certain matches, certain spots that stay with me forever. You know,
give me your top 3 spots that stay with you forever. Black Gen X version. Let me get you an example. Let me give you a Bret Hart.
Okay. Well, the first one is obvious. It's Jake the Snake with the snake on Macho Man. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. You know, Macho Man is tied up in the ropes, so he can't move. And I can't remember who it was. I think it was Honky Tonk Man. Somebody had Elizabeth and was keeping her from being able to get loose. And Jake took Damien out of the green bag, which is the bag that he kept his snake in. And it was, you saw it sit up. It was a king cobra. And that
defanged.
Well, I'm gonna tell. There's another story that, if you allow me, I'm gonna tell on that part because it has become, you know, a thing. But he set the snake down and it sat up. You saw its hooded come out, and you saw the snake bite Randy Macho Man Savage. You saw the blood dripping out, you know. And I mean, I don't remember the year. I can Google it, whatever it was. But I remember
that's 88 or 89.
I remember seeing that. And I remember thinking that was the coolest shit I ever seen in my fucking life. I was like, yo, because he had always
snake biting the motherfucking face off.
He had always talked about
The snake
you know,
gonna
the
get
snake gonna get you, the snake gonna get you. I'm gonna put Damien on you and all this shit and whatnot. And then he would put Damien on people. And then right when you, because I was a Jake the Snake guy. I like the heels.
Yeah,
I mean, aside from Hogan and Tito and a couple of the babyface, I was a heel dude. I like the heels, so I definitely like Jake the Snake. But I was a Macho guy because he was a heel too.
Yeah.
So anyway, when that snake bit Macho Man, I was like, yo, I will love this shit for the rest of my motherfucking life, right? So then, fast forward years and years later. I want to say it's you. I want to say it's you. Okay, when we went to the Richmond Funny Bone to see Jake the Snake Roberts.
It was me.
All right, cool. So, and then he tells the story, and he does it in the Macho Man when he tells the story about how Macho Man wanted to know, did the snake get devenomized before we do this spot? Hey, brother, I want to see him bite you.
And Macho Man,
bite you.
Yeah,
he made Jake make the snake bite him for like 10 minutes because he wanted to see if he was going to die. Yo, that's real shit. And I think that's a shoot.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I think that's a shoot.
Because
come on,
I remember that. God, this is Marcus.
That's my number one moment.
Yeah, we got to get to 2 or 3, but I can tell you, I don't know if you remember, but there was we saw 2 pro wrestlers at the Funny Bone do they one man.
Yep, you saw Jake the Snake and Mick Foley.
Yeah. When we walked up, and I've been at the Funny Bone, performed at the Funny Bone dozens of times, but when I saw Jake the Snake Roberts, I marked the fuck out.
We both did. Standing right outside the front.
I marked the fuck out, and I walked up to him. It's like, I seen you. I seen you at the Coliseum after you came back from Norfolk, like you drove up from Raleigh after you did a show at the Culpeper High School gym. I remember you in 1981 when you knee lifted. Goddamn. And Jake is sitting there like, what the fuck?
You marked out.
I marked the fuck out. And I, as a cool, no taking no shorts, black Gen Xer,
that's your
Mr.
guy.
Leave no meat on the bone.
That's your guy, man. You know.
I fucking marked out for a whole grown ass hillbilly.
Hey, look, wrestling, man. You know, they make you feel something.
So fast
they
forward.
Make you feel something.
Because I think we saw Jake first.
No, we saw Mick first.
So Mick first. So
we saw Mick first.
Mick, I don't even know how you snuck out to the lobby, but we go to the same spot where I was doing comedy. Mick Foley comes to do his one-man show act. We go see him. We have a great time. Mick Foley is also a great storyteller. A couple weeks later, I see a picture of Mark. It was I don't know if it was Mark and Foley. And they like, I'm like, where did you get? How did you get him across that picture, man?
Well, he was when I walked up, he was signing autographs.
All right.
And you know, you got an autograph, man. I paid for that picture.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I paid for that picture.
God, he's got to be into the brand.
As a wrestler, I wanted the picture, but you know, he would only take a picture if he signed the autograph on his headshot. And so, you know, I didn't care about the headshot. To this day, I don't know where that shit is. I wanted the picture.
Yeah, it's Mick Foley.
It's Mick Foley.
It's the dude that fell off.
And I can't remember why we didn't get one with Jake.
I don't know.
I don't know why. I don't remember if we asked him. He said
maybe
no,
he didn't do because a lot of guys.
But we met him in a different space because Mick was right outside.
Yeah,
signing autographs. But Jake we saw walking
some
around.
Some guys getting that contract like after I do my show, I don't want to be.
Well, we saw Jake before the show.
Yeah, he was outside.
He was outside. It looked like he was pacing.
Yeah, he was just chilling, like
you know.
So Jake the Snake Roberts, man, look, and I don't even. I forgot. Oh God, let me get back because as we get old, Mark, sometimes our memory,
brother, it happens. Not just you. It happens to me.
I forgot his shoot name.
Oh,
but
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's not Jake the Snake Roberts, that's for sure.
Oh, and did you know that he hated snakes and was scared of them?
Yeah, he could not. Like he had went through like 6 or 7 of them.
Aurelian something.
Yeah, that's good call on Mark. Man, thank you for being Jake the Snake Roberts. I mean, I know you've been through fucking hell and back.
Yeah,
and you still fucking around.
He had a podcast that he was doing with Dallas Page, and I enjoyed listening to. I like Jake's voice. I like that gravelly old man voice. It sounds cool when he telling them stories about him and the boys in the back, especially when he did the Macho Man's voice. It was very, he was spot on. I said, God damn,
spot the fuck on. Yeah, man, and also Mick Foley. Thank you. You flew off of.
Thank you for the like experiences and the memories. Like, I mentioned Jake is, that was the number one memory. My second one was May of 1996. I'm home in New Jersey, just visiting. I had just graduated from Virginia Union, and me and Damon are hanging out and trying to figure out what we're going to do tonight. And we knew there was a house show, Madison Square Garden. So we go to that house show, Madison Square Garden. We're sitting so far, the concession man won't even come up there. And at the end of the night, we see Scott Hall, who was Razor Ramon, Kevin Nash, who was Diesel, with Shawn Michaels and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then all three, four of them, they had wrestled each other early in the night, but they hugging each other, and it looks weird, And I'm like, what's going on, But this is the days before you knew about the business, like
you had to dial a hotline to find out.
But seeing it was a little bit strange, but we didn't think nothing of it again until a few weeks later when we saw Razor Ramon and changed his name on WCW. What the fuck you doing here?
Yeah, you walked through the crowd like
and
I'm
then a few
real
weeks after that, Kevin Nash did it, and now I'm like, okay, was they saying goodbye? Like what was that?
No, bro, that was earth shattering.
But then here's the full circle shit, because that started a domino effect in pro wrestling in two different promotions. Let's start with WCW. The Outsiders. We get Hall and Nash, and then their third guy was Hogan. Hogan turns heel and becomes, Hollywood Hogan, and we get the NWO, right? That's what happens in WCW. But what happens in WWE is, four guys did that shit, and two of them are gone.
Yeah.
One of them is the champion. The champion is Shawn. So who gets punished? Paul Triple H Levesque gets punished. Now, how does he get punished? Coming up a few weeks later is the King of the Ring that he was booked to win. But his punishment was that he got demoted and he didn't win King of the Ring. Do you know who got that spot? Do you know who won King of the Ring that year?
I do.
In 1996, the King of the Ring, another full circle moment, in the finals of the King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin goes over who
do you?
But Jake the Snake Roberts.
God,
and remember, he got kicking him out earlier that night. He went to the emergency room to get stitches, and he comes back, and this is where he coins the phrase, Austin 316 says that I just whipped your ass. You remember that?
Exactly. I so remember that.
All of that came from the curtain call that I was live at.
Yeah, Jake was... The gimmick,
that's crazy.
The gimmick for Jake was because he was known to be what they say chasing demons.
Drunk.
Yeah, no, but he was way more than a drunk. But on air, he was a drunk too.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold is cutting. Steve Austin's cutting promo after promo. Like, who was behind all of that?
It's different back then because they were allowed to add lib. It was like the freestylers. Like now, you can watch the product now, and you can tell that the writers are. It's almost like daytime TV or stage, where they have to learn their lines and their words and the things that they're supposed to say. You can tell the ones that are allowed the liberties to ad lib. And you can tell the ones that have memorized what the writers have told them to say in their promos. You get old timers, old timer fans, obviously, because I don't like that shit. But you get old timers who were legendary at cutting promos, who go out there and the minute they got the mic in their hand, Dusty was one. Dusty was one. Stone Cold Steve Austin was one. Macho Man Randy Savage. Of course, Dusty and Macho are gone, but Stone Cold is not. And he'll tell you that he's not happy with the way they got them so scripted now.
Yeah, he don't fuck with them unless the bag is coming out. And I don't know why, other than I think he's an old school guy. I think he's like from the old school, and it's not ignorant of the new school, because I think he likes I think there's certain pro wrestlers that Stone Cold co-signs, like Randy. I think anybody that watches the new product, like Randy Orton for me, is that guy. Like, although the lineage is there with his dad and his granddad, but he's a throwback.
Well, he's the OG now.
Yeah,
with Cena on his way out.
Yeah, he's
Randy
definitely
is
the OG.
the OG.
Definitely the OG. And even Roman, like to see the character switch, to see the heel turn, the face turn, like you got to be able to do that to stand out. Even Hogan did that. He was Thunder Lips now. He beat up the #1 box office attraction in 83 when 82 when Rocky 3 came out. He beat up that's like I'm trying to say Tom Cruise or no.
For all my love slaves out here, Thunder Lips is here in the flesh, baby. The ultimate male versus
he got the
ultimate meatball.
You do it live for live.
I know. It's Rocky 3, man.
When I saw that, and I think I saw Rocky 3 in the movie theater. 1 and 2 I saw on cable, but 3
I saw it on HBO for the first time.
Yeah, I saw it in the movie theater. I don't know how Mama and Dad had scrapped up that Good Neighbor hour, that matinee, because it was definitely a matinee. And I was like, that looked like Hulk Hogan. And sure enough, it was Hulk fucking Hogan on the screen saying,
he got fired for that.
Yeah, Vince Senior didn't want him to do it.
Vince Senior fired him because
exposing the business.
Yep,
exposing the business, man. You're doing too much.
Made the right choice.
Yeah. So for that, Hulk Hogan, I'm gonna give you an exactly. Posthumously. All right, Mark. You said this. I might disagree. I don't know, but again, you can do whatever you want here. Taking no choice. Okay. Roman Reigns. And then you said, I told you so. Are you talking about
what I just laid out a few minutes ago? How I told you
the turn?
How you had to manage him, like how they was throwing him down our throats when he first came up, and how they wanted so bad for him to be the face of the franchise and the baby face that led them to the next, generation. Where you can't, the fans will never accept a champion that management forces upon them. The fans always choose the beloved champion, not the transition champion. I'm not talking about the transition champion. I'm talking about the legacy champion.
He can come back and pick up a strap.
Whose names you remember. You remember the name Hulk Hogan, and you remember the name Bob Backlund. You remember Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold and Rock. You remember those names. But you don't remember the transition names unless you're a wrestling historian and a geek like us.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter, okay.
Warrior.
How many people remember this? How many people outside of the core wrestling audience could tell you Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter, Ultimate Warrior, and tell you those names? Who
that's how far back I go.
Who had the belt, but they weren't standard bearers.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? They were transition champions.
Yeah, I mean, even as a Mid-Atlantic Crockett guy, I took my cap to that office to how they ran that business. They've always had WWF/WWE always had somebody to make that call of this is where the business got to go. And that's how you got to be ahead of the curve. You can't be behind it. You can't even hit the nail on the head.
That mentality obviously destroyed the indies, which I guess was an inevitability with, cable coming out, in the 80s and, just the idea of certain territory not being able to financially continue. And Vince, when not so much senior, but certainly junior began to poach the top stars from the various promotions.
But that even takes, like, I remember Jake, early 80s, 80, 81, 82, in Mid-Atlantic, doing it. His finishing move, Mark, was a knee lift. And he would, the equivalent of a super kick. He would knee lift you, but he smacked the back of the opponent. And that's how the move got over. It sounded like a gunshot. He would...
Yeah,
but it was a knee lift. I can't even, so for what somebody saw in Jake then to that Texas, UWF, and then to New York, somebody had to see that, and there's something to say about that. Is what I'm saying. It's like, because if there was anybody that was around that was better at picking out talent to do a wrestling promotion, they had done it by now. AEW is trying, but their evidence have shown that they can't even come close to that formula. And I've given it a shot. You giving it a shot? AEW, you giving it a shot?
I think wrestling is always.
Give.
I think wrestling is always better when there's options. You know, I'm not one that has any interest in watching AEW. I have tried, and there are those, you know, performers there that I'm familiar with during their time in WWE. I got no shade for AEW. I hope they're successful. I hope their fans keep them afloat. But I got no interest in watching it. It's not for me like it was in the 90s when WCW had the kind of product that I was as engrossed in as I was, you know, with Stanford. So as of now, you know, I get, honestly, I remember a conversation I had with Big Rube years ago. Like, I think I watch enough wrestling now. Like back then I wasn't watching that much. Like I'm watching all of the certainly every single one of the we call premium live events. I'm watching all of them. But I'm mostly all involved with SmackDown and all involved with Raw. So I'm watching the product anyway.
Yeah, you use a 10 out of 10, like we said earlier,
because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and I'm 6. I think it's if I had the time, because I enjoy it when I watch it. But
I've made my peace with the differences, though. You got to do that to be able to enjoy the product. You got to make your peace with the obvious selling of storylines in the promos, where they felt a lot more organic when we were younger. They're a lot more forced, like contrived, and these general managers that they come that set up obvious matches on the spot. It's like, I mean, you know, it is a show.
It's because I'm the equivalent to a Paul Heyman guy. Like, I got my guys. I'll give you a good example. Karrion Kross, right? Him and Scarlett, when they was on NXT, I was watching NXT. For whatever the reason is, as a pro wrestling fan, I was just like, they got it. That's something different. And then when they called him up, Vince was still there, McMahon Jr., and they put him in a Farouk outfit and got rid of the girl, I think. I know, or Phil. I'm not going to talk about Phil, but I think. And they goofed him off. And so now he was the equivalent to what the closest thing you could be to a jobber. But when he was in NXT, he was getting over crazy. So that, you know, and then I read the dirt sheet. So I'm like, what did this man do to make y'all not get him? You know, same thing with Bray. Rest in peace of Bray Wyatt, or the Wyndham's I forgot what his name.
Wyndham Rotunda.
But when he was Husky Harris, they gave him a gimmick and didn't want to, you know, he came up with all of that other, you know.
Bray Wyatt was brilliant.
Bray Wyatt, like,
that was dope. They made it weird at the end, but the original concept, the Cape Fear thing, that was dope.
My issue, I ain't gonna say an issue, because I mean, even talking to you tonight, like I'm gonna give it as much time as I can to consume the product, and I'm rooting. I want to see good stuff. But I yearn for like great, like long-term storylines that pay off at a PLE.
You have to make your peace with it just being different now, and you either gonna watch it or you're not. That's what Ruben told me during the period where I wasn't watching. You know, and I've gotten to the point where I've recognized, like, I'm gonna have long, drawn out promos, but if you can tell a cool story, I'll give you an example of a cool story that I'm enjoying. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, right? So Charlotte being Ric Flair's daughter, legendary Hall of Fame bound female wrestler, woman wrestler, who doesn't have the best reputation in the locker room. She's arrogant, she's nasty, she does not have the best reputation. That's a real thing, that's a shoot. And she'd been having some of her personal information hit the tabloids. So her reputation in front of the camera and behind the camera hasn't been so great. Whereas Alexa Bliss has a pretty cool, relationship with the fans right now. So they put them two together. Super tall, super short, super chatty, super quiet, arrogant, humble, and it works because you got Alexa is so excited to be hanging out with Charlotte. Charlotte is, coyly condescending, in a way where it's not so offensive, but like it's kind of offensive, but it's cute, and they're working good together. They're telling a story, so when you see them in the ring, you actually give a fuck.
I watched the ladies wrestling without being a Shawn Michaels or the tag. Sasha Banks. When that 4 horsewomen came along with Sasha Banks, Bailey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch, I was with it because there was a storyline and it wasn't chopped up. Like it was like 3 to 6 months. And for me, like you said, you advise, you need to make peace with it. This is just the way the business is going. You gotta, get with it. Okay, but when I look at it different. It's like I look at it different, and so it don't hit for me. If I looked at it and they like the cross, I give you a good example. Being when you checked out of pro wrestling, there was this. What was the Long Island guy? Whoa! What was that name of that guy? He was a jobber, really. They jobbed him out, and he went to. Damn, if I can't come up with his name, dude. He's married to Chelsea Green. And oh my God, then that means you're not over, bro. If I can't come up with the name. So Mark's point I just made for it. But I remember as the Long Island guy who was getting over because he went on YouTube. He was like the Jake Paul before Jake Paul.
Good grief.
Yeah, good grief. How did Jake Paul come about? How did Brock Lesnar get his ass back?
Because we have the awful misfortune of actually seeing Jake Paul being really fucking good. The fact that he's annoying is the primary part of the conversation. He's annoying. That just means he's really good. And I did not expect...
He work every week. He don't do like here come my old ass. Like, I'm an old guy now. Mark is the new school guy. I'm the old school guy. You're not going to house shows. You're only doing special pay-per-views. You're not even doing.
But everybody, they don't have house shows anymore.
Yeah. What do they work? What do they?
They're in the Performance Center, and then they doing Raw and SmackDown and the PLEs. They don't have the old school house shows like we used to. So no.
So the whole behind the bit. So they didn't took. Hear me out. They're taking Paul Levesque, Stephanie McMahon, or whoever else was with them is saying, "Hey, the business is out. There's no more everything is exposed about the business. So we can stop doing that and just tell a story and be good at telling a story for these particular moments, Mondays, Fridays, and every month, once a month." And I need to get out of, when I say I'm talking about the old school Southern pro wrestling fan from WCW. Get out of the whole chain wrestling, indie, cornet loving pro wrestling. I need to get out of that. That's not, and then it's probably not going to come back.
Probably. Bruh, come on.
It's never coming back because now they got vitamin juice on the mat. Vince would never put vitamin juice on the mat.
They have so many avenues to make money, from podcasts to advertising and all that stuff. Where you had wrestlers in the 80s, in the
just
90s,
with the
they had to
action
figure out
figure.
how they was going to get to the next city.
Yeah, we had they had the action figure and ice cream bars. So don't be mad. I get it. I'm not.
It's different now.
I have to put it out there so I can get talked. I'm one of those people where if the argument makes sense, I'm totally going to be.
My daughter showed me TikTokers her age, 22, 23 years old, that are millionaires from making nonsense bullshit videos and putting it on the internet.
Yeah, make sure
like
you
that
hit
shit has passed us, bro.
Yeah, it has. Speaking of which, I'm trying to catch up. So I don't want to be that old dude. Yeah, that's because that's what it. I don't think it's. I don't effortless. I don't put a lot of effort into it. But I am not running to the bar to be the cool guy. I know where I is.
I see some of these videos and I say this with all due respect.
Yeah.
Just regular boring ass people doing mundane things, posting those videos, and normal regular people doing boring things, watching other people do boring things.
Yeah.
And they become millionaires doing it.
Yeah. And where what I take from that is being that
you know how hard it is to struggle to get people to watch us do this shit.
From the space that we come from, we've been in this game since 2011.
2011.
Yeah. So to see where it is now, it's kind of like, So it's hard for me to go and do, especially coming from the stand-up game, the open mic game. Like, I'm not shucking the jive for nobody no more. And just be yourself. You'll find your tribe by just being yourself. So and because I'm being myself, this is why we're talking about pro wrestling. So almost done. We got a couple more things I'll let y'all know. So just a tease, if you will. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Ronald.
Yeah. We gonna have a retro moment here, segment of Taking No Shorts for this special episode with my homeboy Marcus J, founder of Legacy Internet Radio. So, hey, make sure you like, share, and subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. But every Friday around this time, you can catch the live stream or the recording or the podcast itself, the video, at the following channels: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. That's all at Taking No Shorts Pod. If I ain't gonna spell it out. That's the next level. Like, you ain't got to spell out your brand. They should hear it and just know that's what they talk. That's what you're talking about. You feel me? So there's this word that came out when my kids were in high school, and now it's back, but it's back bigger and better than it was when them Gen Zs was doing it.
That nigga's tripping.
And it's called four words, four letters, one word. And when I saw Jey Uso do this, Mark, I was just like,
four letters, one word.
Yeah, and he got this thing.
Have you ever seen
over.
it? Have you seen it? Like how he got people?
I saw after the SummerSlam press conference.
He got people going bananas.
And they was in. What do they call a press? Is it a press conference after they do the pay-per-view? And he came out on the panel with whoever's doing the panel. I know disrespect folks who I just not name. I'm talking about Jey Uso right now. You did. Wait a minute. I ain't putting no special effects. There's one time I recorded a whole episode. Special effects. It was almost like
crazy, man.
And do you know how mad I was when I went back in to do the edits? And the whole episode
was like that.
Was like Speedy Gonzalez. It was
oh my God. That's
dude,
hilarious.
I was so tight. Just pause. I was so but Jey Uso was gotten over.
Yeah, he's over.
They put the strap on him. Pause.
Twice.
They put he had the belt twice.
2 times.
It took it off him.
Both times.
Oh, and I saw a shoot.
He's so over though. He don't need to have the belt.
All right, so if that's what you're saying, his daddy said something different in a shoot interview.
I mean, I agree that you should put the belt on him long term.
Yeah, Rikishi is his dad.
Out of respect for the work that he's done, yeah, I think that he deserves a long run. Shit, you gave one to Gunther.
Twice. I do. He
got it now.
Yeah, I do remember his 2.
The
Why I
longest
remember,
running Intercontinental Champion.
yeah,
Gunther.
there is a thread that gets in my algorithm that says WWE got a ceiling if you a certain hue.
Mm.
I don't know how I got in my algorithm because like I said, I got Iron Sheik as my tagline.
Exactly.
I mean, the Prophets in the New Day keep them belts. Rock's had the belt. Kofi's had the world
So
title.
what are these marks?
Jay Uso had the world title. Like,
so, but yeah, all right, now I disagree. Like, why give him the title? Why give him the strap and take it off of him like a 6-week run for the TV?
Well, you saw what they did to CM Punk this weekend. CM fucking Punk gets the
He
belt
was
for the
in on
first
that.
time.
Yeah, but he was.
But I mean,
he don't
that's the
need that.
point. The storyline is what it is. We'll never know what's the shoot and what's kayfabe. But he had the belt for seconds, and then of course he gives it up to Seth Rollins on the Money in the Bank. Like, I did not like that finish. I think that Punk deserved to get the belt and carry it for a little while.
Almost did. You ever know what? We're gonna get a little bit of Giants talk because I know football season around the corner too. But you ever see this video that goes around during football season where there's always this so-called America's team of Dallas Cowboy fan after every Sunday. They mad because they suck and they punch they high def TV or they smart TV.
I've seen those videos. I've seen those videos. looking stupid.
I love seeing them shits, yo. And y'all gonna have
you gonna break your own TV because them fools can't get a touchdown or stop a run.
Y'all gonna break a lot more TVs this season as well, by the way.
Exactly.
But that's how I almost came to it when I heard that dope. I say they is really playing with my motherfucking feelings. After night one, when Seth come in with the fake knee.
Come on, bro. Who didn't know that he was, not hurt?
Because I'm 60. You 100% in.
Did you see the roll? Did you see the move?
I saw the because LA Knight. You should feel some kind of way. They pull that shit on you.
Feel
LA you Knight should go and cut.
But he's a ripoff though.
He's an
Rock
amalgamation. Yeah, he's an amalgamation, and if we're saying that, he got to know it,
bruh. It's obvious.
Yeah, he got to know it, and so that's why they cut your balls off, LA Knight or whatever your name is. But yeah, like after night one, and I'm sitting here saying I'm sitting here doing edits, and I'm like, I want to post, but I can't edit fast enough to keep up with it. So I like that was, and I did the group chat. I was like, that's a great fucking finish. Whoever, if it was Heyman, if it was Triple H, I don't know who came. If Pat Patterson came from the grave. That's a great fucking work y'all got me on because I thought the dude hurt because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I saw the play, and I kind of had a feeling that it was a work the whole time.
Was it on ESPN?
I
don't know.
Well, no, I was watching it live when it happened. And let me give you another name. Let me switch gears for a second. Let me give you a name.
Sorry.
Braun Breaker
is
your next long-term legacy champion.
Yeah, he got it. He definitely got it.
He got it. He got it. All he got to do is keep working.
Yeah.
And then you put him with Seth and Rollins, Seth and Paul.
Yeah. He great pedigree.
Great pedigree. He got the look. He's young. He's aggressive. He's hungry.
He got the look.
He got the look. Yeah.
They couldn't do so. What you're baby, I'm making a suggestion. I'm fantasy booking here. So Brock comes out because Brock is up there. Fuck, I didn't. It's like Hogan. Somebody got to talk. Why is Brock Lesnar back?
I don't know. I heard that Cena had a wish list of opponents.
Okay.
And but they didn't. Then they just booked him for the next pay-per-view in Paris later on this month with Logan Paul. You would have thought now they might be setting him up for Survivor Series for his finale
for the end of the year. Okay,
because that's the last big pay-per-view. There's another pay-per-view in December. The last big one is Survivor Series in November.
Yeah.
That might be where you see Lesnar.
Yeah. Well,
not a fan of Lesnar.
Not a fan. Well, yeah, I was I was never a fan. Other than Coach, I I wasn't a fan because short of Cornette co-signing, and I'm a big Cornette mark, like he was just like somebody should have told him not to do the moonsault, the backwards moonsault against Kurt Angle. Love like Billy Graham, like Jake the Snake, like Macho Man. I'm a huge Kurt Angle fan. And that's one of the few WWE Roddy Piper, he came from NWA, but Kurt Angle was a straight to WWE guy.
Yeah, he was Olympian.
And I marked out for him because he was a legit badass. Like he would stretch you.
He won the gold medal with a broken neck.
And then he was popping pills for like 20 years and came back and got right. Like, so shout out to you, Kurt Angle. Edge, messed me up with when they went to AEW. Edge and Christian. I was a big fan of them because they was original. They came up and they were original WWE guys that would have worked.
You know they grew up best friends?
Yeah. They would have worked back in the day.
I always trip like them, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, they would have worked back in the day.
They grew up best friends. Like they knew each other as little kids and probably did mock wrestling and say, "Oh, we're gonna be a wrestler one day," and then they get to do it with the homie.
Right.
But how cool is that?
You don't need to put no belt on me at that point.
Kevin Owens, I think, might be done.
He got a bad neck.
Got the neck injury.
Yeah, he got bad neck.
Kevin Owens was handpicked by Stone Cold Steve Austin to be his final opponent.
Austin came out of retirement.
Yep.
And did a match. Did 2 or 3 minutes of work.
I was more than that.
Really? He didn't take a lot of bumps.
He didn't take a lot of bumps, but I think it was closer to 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, it's still, hats off to Stone Cold for putting that stamp of approval. And I'm a Kevin Owens guy.
I'll put it in perspective. His last match before that match was WrestleMania 2 months before my daughter was born.
Jesus, wow!
When he put The Rock over, the wrestlers' final match in WrestleMania 2003. Yep.
What a trilogy!
That's how long he been out of the ring. That's crazy.
Stone Cold is a unique pro wrestler for the times, Mark. Only because not only does he have cats on his ranch out in Texas, right? Exactly. And I'm an animal lover. My wife.
Dogs too.
He got dogs too. He got owls. He got all kinds of shit. But he definitely loves some cats. And it says something about somebody that comes up with the nickname Stone Cold, meaning the moniker. He took the moniker from a serial killer.
That's my guy.
Love Stone Cold Steve Austin, man.
I remember I had gotten his song as the ringer on my phone right before he finished wrestling. And when he finished wrestling, it's been my ringer ever since. All them 20 plus
glass
years.
Breaking and all.
If I had my ringer on right now, somebody called me.
I should have had that
broken glass. And it's crazy because sometimes it scares the shit out of me.
Let you know some shit.
You just see some random broken glass. You jump at the first, and then you look at your phone. Oh, that's my phone.
That means some mud stomping, kick ass, redneck beer drinking, and that's the only redneck that might get a pass.
I love it. That's my guy. It just the absurdity of the character, the not care attitude. The rebelling against authority. Like, who can't relate to that? It just happened to be embodied by, a guy that embraced, a redneck persona. But, New Jack was kind of like that too. It just looked different on New Jack.
Yeah, New Jack won't
but it looked different on him.
The whole person's head off.
Jumping off of balconies on the people, on the tables. Like, obviously it's different, but the authenticity of the New Jack character is very similar.
Yeah, what did New Jack and the gangsters come out to? But
Straight out of
natural born killers.
Yeah, natural born.
ECW, boy.
ECW was wild.
There was a public access channel on cable back in Black Gen X times. You could catch here in Richmond, Virginia in the 90s, late 90s. Late 90s. And ECW, WCW, and WWE at the time, they covered it all, but they covered more underground, right? So you could see that was the first thing. It was the equivalent to what we're doing right now. This is a public podcast. It is. I don't want to besmirch my podcast, but the podcasting is the 21st century's version of public access. It's just if you decide you find a lane and you perfect it and you can get better at producing and you can rise above it, hopefully taking those shorts will do that. But this particular wrestling show back in the 90s, they covered it. But the first thing they went to, I remember I saw Jeff Hardy when he was like 17. He had what was a gimmick. He had a mask on called the Willow Lark, right? And the mask looked like the toys. What was the name of the guy? Remember Legion of Doom? Legion of Doom and the Super Friends.
Yeah.
And it was this toy on the bad guy side. It was a
toy master?
Toy man. He had a mask like the Toy Man. And I was just like, who the fuck is this pro wrestler? And he flipping like Cordy say. He flipping and doing all this shit. But next thing I know, he up in WWE with the Hardys and the Dudleys at MSG WrestleMania. I think it was 17. Craziest ladder match I've ever seen. You remember that ladder match?
I remember ladder matches are crazy. We just had what is this? 14 ladder match at Super SummerSlam with all the tag teams.
Crazy.
It was like 8 or 9 people, and then there are various valets, and ladder matches are crazy.
Marcus,
sir,
it's a great. I mean, we could do this literally all day.
This is what we do in our normal conversations.
Yeah, this is what we do in our normal conversations. There's a watering hole y'all come to. If I had energy and I wasn't in this office, I would be there every Wednesday.
It's all good, bro.
I get there when Cousin John send out the bat signal. You're like, yo, man, go holler at your peoples up at the watering hole. And I say, I live right down the street from my job, man. I'm going home.
Yeah.
If I go in there with y'all, I would be. When I walk in, I call you Norm because you got a Norm spot at that.
I do.
Yeah,
that man. Hear something funny?
What's that?
Last week I went to Boston and I went to the actual bar that was inspired by Cheers. Yeah, I went there and I told Mama to take my picture, and I was thinking about Norm when I was taking it.
Yeah, man.
You know, so it's a whole vibe. You know, but it's cool to be welcomed and feel comfortable someplace that you frequent, and you know you got love there, and you love being there, and then you have the guests that come and different faces and different vibes, and you know you see the birthdays where people come for birthdays and anniversaries, and then you know the various famous people who I have seen come through there, who I've been around. You know, I happen to have a decent relationship with management, so there have been times where I've been present in some spaces that perhaps other folks may not. So I've been fortunate enough to have that kind of, you know, existence. So it's a cool thing, man. I grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey, where my father would go to a bar called Cherry's Lounge on Jackson Avenue, currently known as Martin Luther King Drive. Martin Luther King Drive became Martin Luther King Drive in the 80s. But those of us from Jersey City who was around back then, we still call it Jackson Avenue.
Yeah, they changed the name.
And I remember years later, my brother and me went into Cherry's Lounge, and the dude looked at us, looked close, then he elicits my father's name. He goes, "You such and such's boys, aren't you?" And we look at him like, "Yes, sir, we are." You know what I'm saying? Because that was his spot, and he recognized us as his sons. So I took Mama to our watering hole here, you know, and she had her very first official drink there. So when I went to Boston, it was a cool thing for me to go to the bar where the name Norm actually means something.
Your pops as well.
Yeah. I can't hear you.
Oh, that's because I wanted to. You don't notice that. I don't know if you knew this, but I was muting you so you could. This is how great of a host I am.
Okay, go ahead, put yourself over.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. Good grief. Okay.
When he say good grief like Charlie Brown, this is what I think about. I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a hell of a match. You're gonna see a lot of moves. A sharpshooter is gonna be put on somebody.
Pink and black.
But who gonna shake their ass with sensational shirt like this?
Just a sexy boy.
You got it.
There's a lot of suspect lyrics in that shit as well. I'm just saying. Before I go out for the rest of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, you all know I am trying to brand this podcast without saying that I'm branding it outside of what I'm saying right now as I was born in 1972.
Exactly.
And I'm at a stage in my life now where just Marcus got there way sooner than I did. He was just like, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to find peace. And I ain't arguing. I ain't got time for none of you Negro. I ain't got it. I ain't got no time. I was fighting it. But now, ain't no fighting in this old dog no more. Old Yellow's fit to lay it down. You see what I'm saying? I still have a good time. I'm still in peaceful. I'm still with the shits, though, like you say. Mark is still with the shits. But trust and believe.
I'll tear all the shit up.
Yeah. Mark is still with the shits.
I flip this table over.
And because we can go through that arc in life, we are here at Taking No Shorts Podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. But also every Friday around this time, you can catch us at the streaming channels of Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, or at Taking No Shorts Pod. Being that I say retro, real, and ridiculously awesome in the promo is because I like to think about times. And these I can't even say millennials now because my oldest son millennial. And he be like, yo, I'm up there. So I'm like, if you up there, what the fuck you think
he closer to us though.
Yeah, he is.
His vibe, everything. He closer to us than he is to the young ones.
Yeah. Oh, I hear it in his voice because when he talks to me about the folks there's this thing now where the younger folks can't look you in the face because the way they have social interaction is with their phone. So it's a weird interaction. So it's like when I first moved to New York in 94, I was giving head nods to everybody. And motherfuckers, but motherfuckers was like, what the fuck you speaking to me for?
Yeah, it's still like that.
Still like that? Like how you get the fuck on the train.
But I will tell you, I went, like I mentioned, I went to Boston last week. I went to Martha's Vineyard too.
Right.
And when I was in Oaks Bluffs near the Inkwell Beach, all the black people that I saw, every single one of them either did that or spoke and hello and was intentional about it because of the space that we were in, a sacred space for us.
Yeah.
So,
I wish I had a sacred space in Brooklyn in 94. Was nothing sacred. It's
sometimes like that here too, though. You know, brother, you can say peace to another brother. It's okay. Yeah.
It's more personal with us.
But I've gotten to the point where, it's more about how I conduct myself and less about how
everybody else.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I see you and I greet you and I see you, I'm not going to necessarily be offended by you not seeing me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm walking down the street, and I happen to catch your eye for a minute, even if you quick look away because you're not into that, I'm going to say peace.
Yeah.
But I'm used to people not responding. That's all right, cool, because it's about me. I'm putting it out there. It's to the rest of the folks if they want to receive.
It's on you. I mean, that's where we are in life.
Yeah.
We've learned that it ain't got nothing to do. I always tell people, all right, they ain't got shit to do with me. I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
And that's
not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah, not my cross to bear. No. Got another one for that?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck. Like Gen X, do not give a fuck. I was trying to hang on to it. I was giving a fuck so much. I said, man, y'all got me out.
I started giving a fuck in 2019.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped giving a fuck. And then I really, really stopped giving a fuck I would say my transition years between 2019, 2021. Because pivotal things,
historic and pivotal
things happened to me personally and socially in the world that affected me to the point where I had to get to a place where I had to stop worrying about things that I can't control. I had to stop worrying about things that, could be detrimental to my mental health and my peace.
Yeah.
I had to understand that that's a real thing. And I had to also realize, so you mentioned you was born in 1972. Well, I was born in 1974. And so unless I intend to live comfortably and actively to 102 years old, I've already lived more than half of what I'm going to live. So I don't have no time to be fucking around with y'all and y'all bullshit. Fuck that. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do it with who I want to do it with.
Yeah.
I'm going to create experiences, and I'm going to say shit like this.
Very intentional.
Very intentional.
Very specific. But you do not.
Including the well-placed cuss words.
Yeah, of course. But you do not want to infringe. It's a big difference between what's that word they're using now? It begins with an OB.
Obtuse.
Yeah, be obtuse. Like, nah.
How come I knew what you was trying to say?
Obtuse is correct.
Yeah, because you're being an asshole right now.
No,
No, not you.
Yeah.
That's what being obtuse is. You being an asshole right now.
Like,
you know what the fuck I'm saying?
Yeah, I ain't got no time.
That's what obtuse means.
And I always, for me, I always used to hear folks say, I ain't got no time for this, and the third. I literally lived is living and experiencing that attitude where I ain't got no time, because you hit that threshold, middle-aged Black Gen X, where you say you've lived more than you're gonna live. So the sooner, and I teach my sons this, the sooner you recognize that, the better your life will be. The more quality of your life will be.
Yeah, because you'll start earlier. Than
the previous
generation. One thing that you have to think about, right? How like money, cars, possessions, people, whatever it is that you value, you accumulate, you might lose, but you potentially could reacquire. What's the one thing that you can't reacquire? Time. You cannot get more time. Like when you do a crime, do some fucked up shit, they got to put you in jail. How do they punish you? They take away your time. They put you in a space with other people that did bad shit, and they make y'all chill together. And you can't do what you want to do because they take away your time. So one thing you not getting no more of. You should be respectful of it. And, you don't want to denigrate someone that is coming into knowledge and understanding in their own time, because you didn't always know what you know now. So when you come there, you respect it. As an OG or big bruh or Uncle Big Bruh, as they like to call me, you do the best you can to shed some wisdom, drop a jewel. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody,
and then keep it pushing.
Somebody jiving you, you move on. You know what I'm saying? But you don't feel the way about dropping a jewel, because I remember it was a dude named Cool Breeze. I ain't know his real name. I couldn't even really describe him to you because the years have took away that part of my memory. But I remember when I was a young dude, it was a dude named Cool Breeze in my neighborhood, and he always had the cool vibe to him. It's like he talked like this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You dig and you jive, and it's the kind of vibe that he was on. And every time he would always see me, he would always say, be cool, little man. That's what he would always say to me. Be cool, little man. And I never, I couldn't tell you what happened to Cool Breeze, but I never forgot him.
Yeah.
He left an impression, a positive one. Be that person for somebody.
Be cool.
Be Cool Breeze. In a world full of assholes and obtuse motherfuckers, be Cool Breeze.
Yo, I know Cool Breeze, and I hear that all the time when folks ask me, what up, Jay? I can't call it.
Yeah.
I got that from my uncle.
I can't call it.
I can't call it. Be so cool. Be like Stuart Scott, say cooler than the other side of the pillar.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you don't know what that other side of the pillar mean, that's nothing that you can feel off of TikTok, off of the internet.
Amen.
That other side of the pillar feels stupendous, and you got to appreciate that.
I enjoy the stage of life, Riz. I do, because like I know your retro segment, you got a specific year and a month that you're gonna get to.
I'm not. I'm not beholden. You go to whatever retro moment you want for the guest.
Well, no, I want you to get to what you said.
Oh.
So that's why I'm leading you.
Get the fuck up out of here, Chris.
Well, that too. But I mean, what I was gonna say is like the fact that I don't know, because when I saw you write that, I don't know what you're gonna say, and I asked you not to tease it to me.
Right.
Then you'll organically bring it to me now. But this is kind of my segue to that. Like, I am old enough and blessed enough to have recall, where there are certain parts of my memory that the time hasn't taken away, and I remember, and I very much enjoy the trip down memory lane. Like you, I have children. Yeah. Or a child rather. My daughter is in her early 20s, and you got early 20s and mid 30s.
Yep, sir.
Like you get to watch like your favorite people move into a space of life that you remember so vividly. Yeah. And then they talk shit to you with your face. You know what I'm saying? It's the wildest shit. It's the wildest shit ever. So anyway,
it's like, come on, man. That's what I heard. What like, come on, man, come on, God. Me and my wife, we said it's like, come on, we can't. The irony, it was irony.
You said irony.
Yeah,
you said irony. Yeah, you said irony.
I also say Bobby Goldstein too.
You've been saying that.
Yeah, I don't know what I think. I
know who that is. You know,
my mom and them said I was like, shout out to
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, shout out to Theo Huxtable, aka Malcolm Jamal Warner, or Malcolm Jamal Warner, aka Theo Huxtable. He had dyslexia. So words to me, when it comes to my brain, they get all mixoplicted. Superman was better than Fantastic Four. Quick take.
I did not see Fantastic Four because I'm a Superman guy. Superman's going to always be great and better than everything else. Having said that, it was not my favorite Superman movie.
Man of Steel? Worse. Christopher Reeve?
Worse. Christopher, for me, it goes 2, 1, 3, Returns. 2
was when Zod and them came down. Okay. 2,
1, 3 is Richard Pryor.
The Nuclear Joe?
No, Nuclear Man was 4. And I'm never going to mention that.
You're not even going to put that in the calculator.
That is
I was checking.
Easily, it might have been the worst superhero
yeah, I was just checking.
Ever made.
Richard Pryor, as soon as you said Richard Pryor, I was like,
yeah,
that's
I mean,
goofy.
It wasn't that great, but that's my way of saying that all Christopher Reeve movies, except for, were better than. I did not like Henry Cavill. Brandon Routh got better. The more I watched Superman Returns,
you are on the outside with that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Because again, everything. I'm a Superman guy, so if you allow me to kind of wax poetic here, I will. Because that's my number one superhero. And I always thought that I wanted a dark and brooding Superman. You consider coming from another planet and his origin story, like the bubbly, always, so pleasant and kind Superman is the one we got. But in my mind, I thought that he might be a little more dark, kind of like how Batman would be because of his energy. So during the Henry Cavill period, before he was even cast, I was saying, man, I wish if they rebooted, we get a darker one. And lo and behold, we get it. Because everything that I said that I thought that I wanted, Henry Cavill gave it to us.
And you ain't like it.
And I didn't like it.
Why?
I just didn't like his portrayal.
Not a lot of words. He didn't say a lot. He didn't have a lot of dialogue.
After Brandon Routh in 2006, every Superman movie after that, in my opinion, he gets beat up too much. You're fucking Superman.
I agree.
Why do I mean, people who love this current movie, great, fine, fair enough. I'm not gonna argue with you. But Superman ain't never supposed to get his ass beat the way he's been getting his ass beat with blood and shit. Yeah. And Batman beats him. What the fuck?
Yeah, that Batman's versus Superman was bullshit. Hold on.
You Superman.
Bullshit.
You're not supposed to have blood.
The most recent one that came out.
And the dog. Oh my God, that awful fucking dog.
You ain't like Crypto?
No.
I love Crypto.
It was annoying. Superman thought he was annoying.
I think this version, I'm gonna tag this as criticism of the new Superman. This version of Superman played more on my emotions. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because when it came out, where I'm at in my life, whatever, but it played more on my emotions than any other Superman. And the reason why I say that is when I took my wife, me and my wife saw it, she said, that's a good movie. But she said it was good because the villain, the Lex Luthor character,
he was so vicious.
He was like so good. She was like, that was like the wrestling term, like he played the heel and he made you want to hate him.
I might have to watch it again. I mean, I know I'm going to see it a couple. It's Superman.
Yeah.
So hear me clear. I didn't love the movie, but it's still Superman.
Well, I think when I didn't know you didn't watch. You haven't seen Fantastic Four, so it's unfair to pose the question.
I tell you what I did just recently watch though. I did just watch the new Captain America movie with Anthony Mackie. It's the new Captain America, and I enjoyed that very much.
God, all right. So I liked it too, but it was just not enough Hulk. The whole.
Oh no, you only saw him for one scene.
Yeah, it was not enough Hulk, and so with that. Like they did him.
I didn't care about that.
I thought they threw him under the bus. I thought they pulled
the Red Hulk was weird anyway.
Yeah.
Like the whole concept of it. Anytime you got a Hulk and it's not David Bruce Banner, it's weird. The woman Hulk that they got the Netflix show, all that's just weird.
It's a weird space now that the comic book movies are moving to because they're moving off of what we have known and saw. We listed some 70s, some Gen X Superman movies, the X-Men in the late 90s, early 2000s, all the way up until this Marvel thing. So it's in a transition. It's what Vince was doing to come off of the cartoon to the real generation. What do they call it? The X Generation X.
Yeah.
That version, the Attitude Era. Quickly, because I tagged this a lot, so I just want to quickly get into a retro moment here, and I wanted to take it was random, and the reason it was random because I was listening to this song as I was getting this. It's a little late, but the sun is getting low. Here, Taking No Shorts podcast, and I'm hoping that the audio, because last time I did this, the audio didn't pick up, and I didn't want to put it on the thing. So this is how I came up with the year and the date. I went to school college with a whole bunch of white boys, and so this was planned in September of 1991 when I was a sophomore at Virginia Commonwealth University. And so that was what they called what was that type of music? With Nirvana, grunge. See, and I know, Mark, you went to Virginia Union University.
I did.
You ain't hear this in the dorm.
I was playing it.
My brother.
I was playing Guns N' Roses loud. And Nirvana. So I've always liked this kind of music.
That's why you are one half of the World Podcast Tag Team and Champions here, Taking No Shorts podcast. September 1991.
That song. Whose song is this singing?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, Flea.
Yeah, Flea, Anthony Kiedis, the drummer, and I think they had a heroin addict for lead guitar.
Who didn't in them days?
Yeah. So, what was you doing, man? Fall or September '91? What was you doing? What was up at Marcus J?
That was the beginning of my senior year at St. Anthony High School in Jersey City. I was the manager and bookkeeper for the girls basketball team. On that team, you had future WNBA world champion Houston Comets, Nairi Roberts on that team.
Hey, you're missing so many exactness.
Yeah, and she's a good friend of mine. I just saw her a couple of months ago when our brother K-Dub turned 50.
That's what's up. I remember her from not Taking No Shorts, but
she came to my show.
Yeah, she came to Legacy Internet Radio. Ain't no half step.
She was traveling, happened to be in Richmond, and reached out to me, and we had her in studio.
I'm gonna tag you.
We had her in studio. So that was the biggest thing, getting prepared. I had a girlfriend that year, and she broke up with me right before going to the prom. And so
that's tough.
I was gonna go to the prom by myself. I was gonna drive my father's Ford LTD, and I was gonna go to the prom by
Had to get
myself.
exactly for the LTD.
Yeah,
That's a
I was
stretch
gonna,
joint.
my girlfriend broke up with me, and she had another boy that she liked better than she liked me, so she moved on and she jilted me. And then I had a platonic friend who went with me to my prom, and she was a good friend to me, and there wasn't anything romantic at all. All of my friends was trying to do what they was going to do with the girls that they was with, but I was with my platonic friend, and I think I probably had a better night, with
Than
her
anybody else.
than they did, because I always appreciated that relationship in particular, and that kind of relationship
Yeah.
in general. So in September of 1991 was, right before all of the things that I just mentioned. It was a transition year. It was my last few weeks, few months in Virginia, in New Jersey, before I moved to Virginia, because this coming Monday, August 11th will always remain an important day for me, because that's the day that I moved to Virginia from New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
So in the following year, August 11th, 1992, I left New Jersey.
That's like, what you call it, home going? Or home? Yeah, it's a home going.
Nah, that's me going away to college.
Oh, move-in day.
Yeah. We left New Jersey in the early morning hours of August 11th, 1992. And my father rented the big white Cadillac and filled it up with all my shit. And then we went to Newark, because I had a friend of mine from high school that she was also going to Virginia Union, and she and I decided that we was going together.
Lucky
And
you.
so my father had to drive to Newark and sit in the hood and wait with this big white Cadillac for hours until her and her family got ready. We convoyed from Newark down here, and it's always a funny story that we have, because he's like, man, because my father's like me. Like he didn't want to go to Newark and wait for
Wait
this
a
little
minute.
girl. He wanted to just get me to Virginia so he can go about his
back home.
business. But he did that for me.
Wanted to cut you off on that part, because you said your dad is just like you. And because I met your dad at your 50th birthday party.
Yeah.
And they had you're not lying.
I know. He sat in my chair. That day he sat in my chair. You know what I'm saying?
And he held court without, like, he might have said 5 words.
He ain't gonna say much unless he talking to his grandkids.
Talking to his
grandkids. He loves his grandkids.
Yeah.
He's the epitome of.
But he held court, and he didn't get up out that chair. And you told me when you came, he was like, "Yo, that's my dad." I said, "How you doing, Mr. Johnson? Nice to meet you. I heard so much good things about you, whatever." And Mark said, "That's my chair."
As soon as he came in, he greeted whoever he got, because the shed, that's my chill spot. Anybody knows me. And my chair was sitting right outside my shed. And it was sitting in an area in a way that it looked like it was set up to be a chill spot.
Yeah.
And when he came in, he ain't hesitate, pause, half step, or nothing. He walked right up to the chair, then sat himself down, and what did I do? Nothing.
That's like the Black Gen X recall of Bill Cosby and the tap dancer, and homeboy said, "A challenge.
That was Sandman, from Saturday Night.
Apollo,
yeah, Showtime.
And Bill tried. Mr. Cosby tried.
Nah, he couldn't.
He couldn't do nothing with that. Couldn't do nothing with that.
So yeah, September 1991 was an important transition period. I was 17, and I was in my final year. I was beginning my final year of high school, which would end up being my final year living in New Jersey. So, I mean, it was a cool time in the beginning period of transition.
I've been back to Jersey plenty of times, and I think I've mentioned this in passing to you. This is another reason why we probably cool. On my biological side, you said they from Newark.
Yeah.
They from Newark, East Orange.
Yeah.
They didn't get across the the Passaic River? What is that river that separates Jersey City from? It's the Passaic River, right? So we didn't get to Jersey City, but when I found that out, and then I had a episode I got recorded that I haven't even put out yet, when I was doing a journey back in the fall of 2022, when I was thinking about taking a shorts, it was like I wanted to do what Skip Gates was doing with the Ancestry thing. it's like I wanted to trace my roots because I ain't know who my dad. I was like, let me get. And when I found out who this dude was and how I could connect the dots, and they was taking me back to Jersey and how they got to Jersey from the country here in VA, I was just like, this is awesome. This is the reason. I remember my dad telling me, he was like, when I told, because I didn't tell my folks I was moving to the tri-state area.
Just left.
I went to a 3-on-3 hoop it up tournament. I gotta pee. That's why I'm hesitating. My bladder don't work like it used to. And me and my college girlfriend at the time, she was just like, she had already moved up there, had a great gig. And she was just like, if you move off here, you can make some money. And I was just like, say less. And I was just, I knew if I told my folks, they were going to talk me out of it. You know, I don't know who talked you. Did anybody had to talk you to coming down south for going to Union?
Nah, hell no. I was, I spent most of my summers from a young age in Greensboro, North Carolina, with my aunt, my mother's sister lives. So I was used to going away. It didn't feel that great when I was younger, but as I got older, I was used to it. And then, my final 2 summers in high school, I went away, not far, just the next town over. But I spent 6 weeks in an Upward Bound type of program with other smart kids. That's where me and Damon, we knew each other, but that's where our friendship really developed. So I was used to going away. So by the time, and then of course, I knew that I was going to a black college. I mean, I got into 10 schools. I could have gone to Dartmouth. I got into Dartmouth. I got into Ohio State. So I could have, I had those options. And of course, I got into Howard and Hampton, and VC, Virginia Union. And of course, Richmond from the first time, and Virginia Union was, there were 2 schools that I visited twice. I visited several schools, but there's only 2 that I went to twice. Hampton, I knew the first time I wasn't going there. We went back the second time.
That was my first choice.
We went back the first time I went, I knew, my first time I went, my mother took me and Damon, and the 3 of us drove from Jersey to Hampton, and I knew I wasn't going there.
Well, can you give me, because that was my first choice, not only because they was giving me some money on the books, but
it just didn't feel natural to me. It didn't feel organic. Like, I don't want to say anything disparaging, but my feeling at the time was, those ain't my people. What I'm saying?
There's a little bit of Jack and Jillish and a little uppity.
So,
there's a little uppity.
On that same trip,
I'll say what you won't say.
I mean, I could say some things. I'm choosing not to. But on that same trip, we went to Virginia Union and just spent a little time. Now, at the time, I'm a New York Knicks fan. Charles Oakley went to Virginia Union. That's all I know of it. I had heard of it because I had heard his name. But I remember coming onto the campus and being in an immediate neighborhood around it. Like, all right, this reminds me a little bit of back home, but a little bit different. And then, of course, I went on a church trip. And the church trip took us to other schools, but back to Hampton, which was just to be on the trip. But when I went on Virginia, no, I already knew the first time. But that same church trip, we went to Virginia Union. That's when I knew I was coming.
Yeah,
I knew I was coming here.
To church. First, I had a counselor that was a Hampton alumni. So when that senior year, come 91 September, I was a sophomore in college. So I was already, I was just happy to find a roommate that I could get a good night's sleep with. Because I had a frat boy, Red Hot Chili Pepper type dude that was going, this dude moved in furniture. You always, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't catch anything from Taking No Shorts, young people, because y'all about to move into college and we about to wrap up this special episode of Taking No Shorts, but always be the first one to move in.
Yep, I learned that lesson in college.
That's why
I only lived on campus my first year.
Yeah,
I had an apartment after that.
Because I moved in, this dude had we might have had 100 square feet of a room. It was a jail cell. Rose Hall, VCU. He moved in a couch, a whole entertainment. So back then, the entertainment system was a wall unit, a big bulb TV. He had speakers up. I mean, he had a whole, I'm finna get busy this semester type situation. And he did. Shout out to him because That's how the Four Horsemen of VCU started. Like it was a white boy that started that shit because my room was jumping, and I was just like, man, I should have went to Hampton.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted who was gonna give me the money.
Yeah, I mean, Virginia Union just felt comfortable, and I obviously made a good choice because this Monday will mark 33 years since I've been here, and I have no interest in going nowhere else.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we met. We met probably through Corey or Carlton because you was with Finambi. Finambi is no longer a company anymore, so we could say that.
Long gone.
Yeah,
but yeah, we would have met somewhere in the late 90s.
Late 90s, and it's been a great broship since, man. I would like to thank you for your time tonight. I would love to, when I get the format together, because I got to pee to do the more retro shit, but because of the wrestling stuff, I hope I got to
pee too, but I ain't spend the last 10 minutes complaining about it like you.
Hey man, I'm fitting to piss. I'm fitting to piss on myself.
You older than me.
I'm fitting to piss on myself.
Man, I drive from here to Jersey, and bladder opens up right around Fredericksburg. Not opens up, but begins.
You don't stop. Man,
I've had trips where I didn't.
Thanks for taking the time out to listen to Taking No Shorts podcast.
Well, you can turn it off.
Back in just a few.
Well, shit.
Make sure you like, share, subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. And make sure you leave a comment under Taking No Shorts. Thank you for listening to Taking No Shorts podcast. We'll be right back. You're listening to Taking No Shorts podcast. I am your host, Jay Grizzy Green. We'll be right back. Keep scrolling, but get back to us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I believe in Jesus. My co-host doesn't. Please forgive him, Christians, and come back to Taking No Shorts podcast. While we take this break and you finish scrolling on the internet, make sure you find yourself right back here to Taking No Shorts podcast.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was thinking, I could have paused it to save me from doing the edit, but it's okay because it ain't live anyway. So I'll just time stamp it and then go back in. Just take it out. They won't even see that shit. All right, give it 5 to 10 and then I'll wrap it.
All right.
All right. Hey, Marcus.
What's up, man?
We had to take a piss, man. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Drain the reason.
We had to. You almost caught an STD for pissing on my tree.
I don't know if I would call it STD, but
poison ivy on the dick.
This man gonna let me start peeing on the tree, and halfway through the pee, then he decides to tell me that it was poison ivy on the damn tree.
But he killed it. He killed my lawn guy. Shout out to you. He was like, yo, man. I know I do your yard. Chris, shout out to Chris, man.
Exactly. You know you're an asshole for not telling me until you told me that. As long as you know you're an asshole.
You put your dick closer to something dirtier than that.
No, absolutely not. But I didn't go all the way up to the tree. So
I was sure, so you'd be okay.
I took care of myself because I didn't go all the way up to the tree.
No,
however, you didn't know that.
No,
You're a bad guy.
I've been accused of worse.
You're a bad guy.
I've been accused of
I
worse.
knew you were a bad guy, but now you're showing me.
So Chris say, yo man, I appreciate you giving me the business. I met Chris through my sister. She was like, yeah, I got a yard and lawn guy. He does great work. He gets you a good price. He's a good guy. So if y'all need a good guy to come through, y'all hit me up at jgreenradio@gmail.com and get Chris that work. And Chris was like, yo man, I'm cutting your yard, but you got weapons of mass destruction over there. Like you finna kill somebody. I got something for it, and I think I don't know if he used DDT or I don't know what the fuck he used, but it turned the whole thing. Like you itching now, like walk over there. Look, are you a germaphobe?
No, something bit me.
Oh, it now there's mosquitoes out there.
Something bit me.
Yeah, mosquitoes is out there, but he's
you laughing at me, motherfucker? Why are you laughing at me, man? I knew you was a bad guy. I knew it. Yeah, play my music, motherfucker. Asshole, man. You an asshole, man. Fucking asshole, man. You stupid. Oh man.
Yeah. I hope when I extend the invitation, you accept next time.
I'll probably come back or something.
Yeah, I hope. I hope I don't ruin the experience.
I mean, it ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
But if I've never told you, I appreciate you lead by example when it comes to the professionalism and the way you should run a podcast that I got. And that's real spit. Like,
appreciate it, bro.
I remember one time I came to Ain't No Half Stepping, used the Lindsey Graham example, and I've never seen. And y'all know our relationship. So Mark looked at me. I ain't never seen Mark look at me and was like, "Don't ever do that shit again." Don't.
What did you do?
The Lindsey Graham, the butt plug.
Oh, the butt plug. Yeah. I was mad with
and
you.
I couldn't understand it. I couldn't appreciate it until I had a similar situation happen with a guest here on Taking No Shorts.
Yeah. I mean, because you have a lot going on when you're managing, and when you have someone that's purposefully being antagonistic in the midst of you trying to manage a lot of things, it elicits, feelings of rage that may cause you to want to engage in fisticuffs.
You almost you ain't gonna fight me, bro. I
wasn't gonna because I got control of myself.
I was like, damn, but
I did want to, chop you across the chest like Ric Flair.
I would have took some. What they say, chopping meat and.
Let me say it to you this way.
I would have took it.
Let me say it to you this way. I owed you a receipt.
Yeah. And I hope
I owed you a receipt.
Yeah, you do. And so in the spirit, I hope in some way, shape, or form I could repay you by allowing you all receipts, all carte blanche, everything here at Taking No Shorts Pod, man.
I mean, I enjoy it here, man. Your vibe is a lot more relaxed than mine, so I can, allow myself to be a little more, or a little less, I should say, controlled in my speech, and maybe cuss a little bit more, have a little bit more, natural, organic fun than how it was.
Yeah, you were straight edge.
Show. Yeah, because I wanted my show to go a certain kind of way.
You want to be brown,
and you want your show to go a certain kind of way. You're a lot more relaxed. I wanted my show to go a certain kind of way. I didn't want it to feel quite as relaxed. I wanted to keep a bit of a serious tone to it, and I, as the host of the show, it was incumbent upon me to lead in that manner.
Yeah, you lead by example.
I had to lead by example. So when I have someone there that knows better, that's antagonizing me,
I do better too. I did,
and then they knew
better.
And look, we brothers, and we do this. So in my mind, I'm thinking about the ribs that somebody like Owen or somebody would play on the boys in the locker room that cause you to want to get cussed out and even strangled. But at the end of the day, that
I shit in his bag. That's what happened. I shit in his bag.
That's a shit in the bag moment.
Yeah,
they're not gonna get the reference, but because you didn't tell the full shit in the bag story. But
if you know what a shit in the bag means, then that's enough.
There's an actual reference story where they do things like that to each other. Yeah. But anyway, the point being, don't fuck with me when you know that you can fuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, because then when I get you back, I'm not gonna be the villain.
Yeah, I don't think Mark will. There's been times where I was like I said, I did the edits of the 100 episode, and thanks for coming through. And you was doing your Hogan rant, and I did the edits, and I was just like, y'all can't see my face. The audience can see me. Mark looking at my face. I was just like, oh, that's coming out later. He said, I got to clean that up some kind of way, because it's not even because there is anytime you have the responsibility, I think that's the word, you have the ability to speak to more than people in the room. There's a responsibility to that. And I think you're a journalism guy, right?
Yeah.
I came from a performance background. So he had the facts and I had to, I know our way to deliver those facts, and facts be damn. And we see what facts be damn has gotten us. You dig? That nigga's tripping. Yeah. Yeah. So I had to come around, brother. I had to come around. But with all that being said, thank you. I know I might have kept you over, but we got great content here as we just recording this thing. By the time I finish I might squeeze out get 2 episodes out of this thing. But yeah, we do have mosquitoes.
Yeah, they didn't tore my arm.
But you see how I got the blue? I had the blue light out to keep them off. Yeah. But then my wife hit me up and she was like, because when I literally do work out here, right? And she was, when I come in the house, they be.
What's your internet source out here?
The company that used to be what Carlton and we worked at. And it's good. It's good.
Is it wireless?
It's wired.
You got wired out here?
Yeah. I run it from the house to here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I run it from the house to here. And that's why it was so good. When I did the non-wireless, I'm sorry. But no, I should have put out, that's why that blue light is there. If you look inside, there's all kinds of bugs because my wife is bug averse too. I'm used to it because down south we used to getting bit by fucking aliens. So it doesn't matter. But she says, "Yo, here's some off bug spray," and I had some over there. And for some odd reason, I was just like, I'm used to it.
I keep it in the car since I'm always near, the wilderness.
So I apologize. For folks who don't know, Taking No Shorts Podcast Studios is here at the humble abode of Taking No Shorts and the homeboy, Jay Grizzly Green, a.k.a. Mr. Leave No Meat on the Bone. But if you got any meat, I got mosquitoes that will eat the shit out of you. That nigga's tripping. All right. For Marcus J, you got any last words, any pro wrestling? ESPN charging $30, or is it not charging $30 a month you go out?
There's certain carriers where it's not going to affect you. One of them being DirecTV, which is what I have. So Lucky. I'm going to have, and I already have ESPN Plus. So my login will transfer and it'll just be upgraded. So I will not. It's for those folks who do not have access to ESPN via cable or some other type of carrier. Those cord cutters, the people that said, oh, fuck it, I don't want cable no more, I'm going to just go wireless. Those are the people that may end up having to spend $30. And that's back to the days where we had to pay $30 a month for the pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? We were paying $10 for the WWE network that gave you the pay-per-views. So the prospect of going 12, you got 12 for $120.
Yeah, you're gonna have to choose what the value is.
So now, if you're going to $30 a month, you better hope there's other stuff on ESPN that you want to watch. Because if it's just for wrestling, that's a big ask.
Yeah, it's a big. I'm glad you said that. It is a big ask. I fluctuate because I'm at that stage. Kevin Hart say the way my accounts work. I'm at that stage in life where like my dollar is so valued between these streaming services and my entertainment dollar. Before I never valued it. I'm forced to value it, just like NFL. I remember. I don't know if it was you or I had a conversation as I was pitching a bitch because my Steelers is on Christmas Day on Amazon and I couldn't watch it.
Yeah,
I had to get Amazon.
But that's fair. I couldn't watch the Yankees last night because they were on Apple TV.
Are you shitting me?
I'm dead serious. I paid for the MLB
4.5
package.
out, right? Are we 3.5 or 4.5 out?
They're not playing well. I'm not that into it. But what I'm saying to you, I tried to turn the game on last night and recognized that they were on Apple TV, which I don't have. so I couldn't watch it. I pay MLB for the package.
That's like,
And I can't watch a game?
Because I'm a huge baseball. I grew up like short at 1977, 78. I was a Steelers fan. 1977, 78. That's Willie Randolph, Reggie Jackson, Chris Chambliss, Dave Rigetti.
Dave is a few years later.
Yeah, 78, 79.
Yeah, Dave's
Oh, 70. Between 77 and 79 is when Ron Guidry. I'm sorry, I got Dave Rigetti and Ron Guidry.
Thurman Munson
as well. Who was
Roy White.
Right. God damn that line.
Mickey Rivers.
That's when I'm in Richmond, Virginia. You know, but when that World Series came on ABC, Howard Cosell.
You know what today is? Old Timers Day in Yankee Stadium. You know, I taped it.
Oh, I could say
and
you don't.
Flagging foul balls in center field. Mariano Rivera, the great Mariano Rivera, tore
one of the greatest savers of all time.
Tore his Achilles, shagging fly balls on Old Timers Day.
God, Jesus. It's just like it's something in the cards of this season for the Yankees. It's like, and I got a guy who's he's from Connecticut. When we go in the office and we see each other, we both rib each other left and right. Like it's vicious. Like it's like I could call HR on this guy.
That's too much.
Yeah, and he could call HR on me because I give him a fuck you every time. He'd be like when the Red Sox was winning back in the late 2000s. What you gonna say about your boy in that Boston accent?
I had a chance to go to Fenway last week.
I saw the pictures. You took the pictures at the joint?
I went to Fenway. I rocked the Wu-Tang joint because that was my way.
I saw the caption.
Without wearing the Yankee shirt.
Yeah, it's like, I'm here, but I'm still with the shits, nigga. I'm still with the shits. Yeah, like, I'm here, but I'm still with the shits.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that. You know, it's a nice park, man. You know, to be in an old park that had been updated and amended to modern day, you know, expectations while still keeping the old park feel. You know, that was a treat. I enjoyed that.
Marcus, again, I'm trying to wrap up, but again, we could talk pro wrestling.
Yeah, we could.
We could talk sports.
Yep.
We could talk broship. We could talk pretty much everything. I mean, I've known you for 25 years, bro, but it felt like I've known you all my life. Right. Thank you so much. Yeah. That's the wrong drop. They got the same colors. You know what? See, if it's like 15 drops, so that's orange, and the same one is the same color. So for the audience, if you can't see it, so Marcus over there, his face turned on. He's like, I can't believe you did that shit, nigga.
I mean, really, like all the time with the drops, you know I don't like that shit. You know it.
When we was at Legacy, I was like, look, when I was at when you were the founder and owner of Legacy, and I was like, Mark, get a board for some drops. I was like,
I'm doing that shit.
That shit.
I made my own drops. Remember I had to record a y'all doing drops?
You had a Murr. Matter of fact, let a Murr rock right now.
I got a better Murr. Yeah. I got a freestyle Murr.
You got a freestyle Murr. If you want to wrap up, you got a freestyle Murr.
I'm a freestyle Murr. I'm going in a completely different direction. If you look around the country that we are in right now, there's a lot of things that have been made to seem normal, but they are not normal. The way the president of the United States is acting and functioning, no matter how you feel about him or you feel about that, is not normal. We should never normalize bullshit, whether it's politics, it's your health, it's your relationships, because you'll find yourself in a situation that may come out of hand. We elected this man to a second term. That's out of hand. And the irony is, we're only 8 months into a 4-year bid. So ain't no telling what's going to happen. They trying to change congressional districts to get more votes so that they can have more power in Congress. Like, this is not a game. It's not a game. And we should never normalize meanness, nastiness. We should never normalize lying. We should never normalize infidelity. We should never normalize touching on little children, all things that the current president has been accused and in some cases convicted of. Do not normalize bullshit. Stand your ground, hold your own, do your thing. That's the Murr. Marcus's unrelated rant that ain't have nothing to do what we was in here talking about tonight. Thank you, brother. Thank you for giving me a chance.
You are so welcome, brother. It's so good to hear Murr. Murr ain't came out in the webs in about 2 years. So it's so good to hear that.
13 would make 2 years since my last.
Yeah, and it's still out there. It ain't going nowhere. It's out there for folks to consume.
It's archived.
It's archived and out there for folks to consume. So for my brother Marcus J, I'm your host, Jay Grizzly Green, aka Mr. Leave No Meat on the Bone.
Exactly.
This is a special episode of Taking No Shorts podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe anywhere where you find your favorite podcast. But you can catch any recording, anything that you want to hear, any content, anything at the following streaming channels that is Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at Taking No Shorts Podcast and at Jay Grizzle. And with that being said, I am out.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Now I gotta talk. We all gotta be quiet. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
And now your host, Taking No Shorts podcast, Jay Grizzly.